I was 7, I wore these gloves. They held this stick. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship, and now it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams.
Énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin.
The All-Star game is behind us in the Canadian Women's Hockey League, and the race to the postseason is officially underway. There are a trio of critical showdowns in the league this weekend, with 4 points separating the top 3 teams of the circuit. In Brampton tomorrow, the Thunder will look to close the gap on the league leaders in Montreal and Calgary, while the Toronto Furies attempt to inch closer to securing a berth in the Clarkson Cup playoffs. Tonight in Montreal, the Canadiennes have their target fixed squarely on the first-place Calgary Inferno, who lead Les Glorieuses by 2 points in the standings. The Inferno are guided by the legendary Hayley Wickenheiser and young stars such as Megan Mickelson-Reid, Brianne Jenner, and the league's second leading goal scorer, Elena Lovell. Between the pipes, the tandem of Delaney Bryan and Kathy Desjardins are providing world-class tending for the Alberta squad. They dominate at even strength, but have struggled on special teams, and that could be a concern heading into the second 2-game set of the season against the Canadiennes. Marie-Philippe Poulin continues to dominate 5-on-5, while her and line mate Ann-Sophie make a formidable 1-2 punch on the power play. The Canadiennes are the stingiest defense in the CWHL, allowing less than 1.3 goals against per game. Tonight, it's a battle for first place between the leaders, the Inferno, and the challengers, the hometown Canadiennes, with both teams knowing that the third-place Thunder are hot on their heels. It's live from the Centre Étienne des Marteaux in Montreal. CWHL is on the air. Hello, everyone. John Bauer and Robin Flynn, as well as our entire ISI Live production crew in Montreal, welcome you inside the Centre Étienne des Marteaux Arena and Le Glace Caroline Ouellette for tonight's matchup between the 14-2-2 Inferno and the 14-2 Canadiennes in the annual Vaincons le Cancer du Sein match, as we look to raise around another $10,000 in the battle to beat breast cancer. Robin Flynn, welcome to our broadcast tonight.
Hello.
Coming off of last week's All-Star Challenge down in Toronto, which saw a number of the participants in this game competing either on the same team or head-to-head. What do you expect in tonight's game?
Well, we've got 17 All-Stars on the ice tonight. The Canadiennes had the most All-Stars at All-Star Weekend last weekend with 9 players. You have 8 from the Calgary Inferno. Calgary's in first, but Montreal has 2 games in hand and is only 2 points back. So it wouldn't be surprising if they manage to climb up above Calgary in the standings. It won't be easy, though, because Calgary did feed the Canadiennes their first loss of the season. They started out the year undefeated, much like their male counterparts, the Montreal Canadiens, did. And they didn't lose until they played Calgary, and they split that weekend series when it was a battle of 2 undefeated teams. So this is probably going to be an incredible matchup between 2 really top-tier teams and probably the 2 best teams in the CWHL.
Calgary, as we mentioned, 14-2-2 on the season. 30 points have already clinched a playoff berth, as have the Canadiennes and the Brampton Thunder, who are just 2 points behind Montreal with 26 points. And there's Toronto with 9 points and Boston with 2 that are still battling for playoff positioning. Head-to-head, as Robin said, the 2 teams split the opening matchup earlier this season in Calgary. There are 3 more games after tonight between these 2 teams, and that will go a long way to determining who finishes in first and possibly who finishes in third place.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I think for the Canadiennes, you want to finish as high up as you can because with the new playoff format, that means you're going to get home ice in the semifinals. So that would be huge for the Canadiennes in that best-of-3 series.
And we will talk about the new playoff format with the Commissioner, Brenda Andrus, later on this evening during the broadcast. As earlier this week, the CWHL officially announced that the Clarkson Cup for the next 2 years will be at Canadian Tire Place in Canadian Tire Center, in Ottawa. So we thank the Ottawa Senators for coming on board as another NHL partner of the Canadian Women's Hockey League.
They're the 4th NHL team to partner up with the CWHL, with the Habs backing the Canadiennes, the Flames backing the Inferno, and the Leafs backing the Toronto Furies.
As we mentioned off the top, tonight is Vaincons le Cancer du Sein night, or Pink the Rink. And over the last 5 years, les Canadiennes have raised over $50,000 to help fund the Cedars Breast Cancer Institute at the McGill University Health Center, and we will be talking about that as the night goes on as well. That's why you'll see Les Canadiennes and their starting lineup coming out in a few moments, wearing pink jerseys with a mauve middle bar where the blue would normally be.
Yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous, those pink jerseys, and they're going to be wearing them. They already wore them for the warm-ups. They'll wear them for the first period, and then they'll be up for bid as part of the silent auction that's going on here this evening. So that's awesome. You get the opportunity to bid on game-worn jerseys from the Canadiennes. You'll also notice everybody has the pink hockey tape going on. I went and took a look at the table for the silent auction. There's a bunch of stuff from the Canadiennes, from the Olympians, from the rest of the Olympic roster, from the Habs. There's a really nice framed Carey Price signed picture. There's a football autographed by some of the Alouettes, some stuff from the Ice Caps, the Habs AHL affiliate. There's so much stuff for you to bid on. And if you're not really the auctioning type, they've got cupcakes and they've got cool ribbons and lots of other pink things you can buy.
And you can see all those great photos on Robin's Twitter at Lady Habs. And there's all kinds of great photos that she's been taking. You also can see her and I sporting our pink ribbon this evening, which is actually made out of a hockey lace.
Yeah, which is really appropriate tonight. These girls, they are the ones that came to the Canadiennes and said that they wanted to do something 5 years ago, and this goes to the wellness part of the breast cancer clinic. I went to the clinic with some of the girls last week, and that was really a cool experience. They hadn't been there since it had moved to the new MUHC, and that was a really, really awesome experience.
And given that tonight is the Pink the Rink night, we have some very special guests in the arena this evening. They'll be coming out on the ice in just a moment's time, and they will be led by Brenda Andrus, who is the commissioner of the Canadian Women's Hockey League. She'll be coming out onto the red carpet in just a moment. She will be followed by Jim Bays, who is a city councillor here in Montreal, and Marc-André Gaudoury, who is also a councillor for Rosemont-le-Petit-Patrie, which is the borough in which this particular venue is located here in Montreal. And then we will have Jeff Shemy, the director of the Cedars Cancer Clinic at the McGill University Health Center, as well as Maggie Chilelli, who is going to be dropping the ceremonial first puck this evening. Now, Robin, you had a chance to tour the new MUHC the other day with the players, as you mentioned. What were some of your impressions from that visit?
What really impressed me was the fact that everything is really centralized now. You're not being sent to one spot for a mammogram and then somewhere else for a biopsy. It's all done same day, same location, which is really great for your mental health. When you're going through something like this, you found a lump in your breast, it can be really scary and traumatic for women, and this is a really great space. There's also a separate waiting room area for the women where they can have some privacy, some soft lighting and some soft colors. Everything is just state-of-the-art. Really, really beautiful. It feels very safe and secure. And that was something that the girls that were there had mentioned. I was speaking with Leslie Oles afterwards, and she said, you don't like to think about something like this happening to you. You don't ever want to be affected by breast cancer, but if you do, it's nice to know that these kind of facilities exist and are there to help you. So it's really important to have events like this to get money to these breast cancer facilities.
And as we were mentioning, all the proceeds from this game, so 60% of all the ticket sales plus all of the silent auction will be going to the Cedars Cancer Center here in Montreal. And if you think about the fact that this venue hosts about 1,500 fans and it's full every year for this game, and how much this touches the players, as Maggie comes onto the ice now to drop the puck, a cancer survivor, and a warm ovation. But these fans here in Montreal have been very, very generous in supporting this initiative by Les Canadiennes.
Yeah, over $50,000 over the last 5 years, which is absolutely incredible. And you want to see that number rise. If you're not at the game and you still want to bid on the silent auction, you can. There's a pink goalie mask that's available for auction on the Canadiennes Facebook page. So go and check that out and put in a bid because it goes to such a great cause and it helps people just like Maggie.
So Brianne Jenner and Cathy Chartrand out to take the ceremonial face-off in tonight's game. And last week, Brenda talked a little bit about the fact that one of the mandates of the CWHL is to give women leadership opportunities. And it's great to see these young women on the ice giving back and all of their fans giving back to a cause that touches so many Canadian women.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really excellent to see these women stepping up and being leaders in their community. And when you're in a position like the Canadiennes are, it's really important to give back. People are coming out and supporting you, and it's really important to support them as well in their time of need.
We're going to pause now for the singing of the National Anthem. Tonight presented by, will be sung by Sarah Segal-Lazar,
who I actually went to school with at Dawson College. She was in the professional theater program with me, so I know she's got the singing chops to pull this one off tonight.
Sarah Segal-Lazar with the singing of the National Anthem. It's time to meet the starting lineups in tonight's game. And we begin with the visiting Calgary Inferno. Getting the call between the pipes tonight is Delaney Bryan. Bryan on the season is 10-1-1 with a 1.67 goals against average and a .892 save percentage. On the blue line, it will be Megan Mickelson-Reid as well as Ina Takuchi. And up front, it will be the Brianne Jenner, Jessica Campbell, and Jill Saunier line for the Inferno, who are 6-0-2 away from Calgary this season. Getting the start for Les Canadiennes, as always, Charlie Lamonte, 10-1 on the campaign, a 1.27 goals against average, and a .931 save percentage on the blue line. It will be Lauriane Rougeau and Julie Chu up front. Caroline Ouellette will be on the line with Katia Clément-Aydra and Noémie Morin. So those are the two starting lineups for tonight's game. It's a battle for first place in the CWHL here in Montreal.
The Inferno have to be happy to have Megan Mickelson-Reid back. She had a baby, so she's only been back 5 games so far this season. But the one issue that the Calgary Inferno have had this season is they've been giving up a lot of goals. They'll manage to pull off the victory, but they're winning games 8-7. They're kind of like the Pittsburgh Penguins of the CWHL, giving up a lot, but still managing to score quite a few. So having her on the blue line is going to shore up a lot of issues they've been having.
48 goals against. Compare that to the Canadiennes, who have only given up 21 this season in 2 fewer games than Calgary has played. So a couple of weeks ago in Brampton, 8-7 was a shootout loss for Calgary and back-to-back road losses, which actually helped close the gap between these two teams. Katia Clément-Aydra will take the face-off for Les Canadiennes against Brianne Jenner, and we are set to get underway. Glad you're along with us here on CWHL Live. Julie Chu has the puck on the right side in neutral ice, and she will hammer the puck into the offensive zone, but it goes off of the stick of a Calgary blue liner. That slows the play down as Ouellette has it now in the left wing corner. Caro comes to the half boards, reverses it back down low, just out of the reach of Katia Clément-Aydra. And she will actually touch the puck because Noémie Morin tipped it back to her. They're battling behind the net. Aydra comes up with it out the far side. She's got Julie Chu at the right point. She has it now, rolls it over to the left side for Rougeau. Lauriane Rougeau will dish it off into the left wing corner. Goes behind that. Morin stops it. Centering pass off of the stick of Caroline Ouellette. Just jumped over the pallet of Aydra as Morin stands right on the doorstep and tries to tip it in from inside the blue paint, and the Canadiens come out with a quick start in the hockey game.
It's good to see Caroline Ouellette playing so well. She was for quite a while there playing up on that top line, and she's sort of been relegated to the second line, which I think is good for dispersing the Canadiens' offense, making it a little more difficult to defend against.
So Poulin will take the draw with Deschênes and Bette. So Deschênes has moved up to the number 1 line as Poulin is tossed from the draw. Bette will take the face-off against Sarah Davis of the Inferno. Shot off from the left point, hits her own player. Deschênes spins, fires, and it goes off of the stick of Cudmore in front of the net, and the puck harmlessly comes over to the near side. Deschênes plays it back down low. Poulin giving chase. Marie-Philippe Poulin behind the net for Bette. Bette centering pass broken up there by Dostaller, and she will have, that is not Dostaller, that's Laquette, coming out the far side. Here's a turnover in front. Deschênes, right side, and Bette puts it wide of the near post. Chartrand at the left point, plays it to Poulin, down low for Deschênes. Deschênes behind the goal. Laquette battling with her, and she comes up with a puck for the Inferno. Up the near side for Turnbull, gives it back to Laquette. She tries to clear it up the near boards, and Warren will slip it out to center ice. Carly Hill at her own blue line. Right wing side for Blais, just out of her reach, but Bette will play it into the offensive zone. We have played 1 minute and 30 seconds of the opening 20. No score in the hockey game, but the Canadiens coming close. Here's Bro, left point, wrist shot through traffic. Knocked down by Blais in front, and Paroff couldn't get her stick on it as the puck comes over to the near side, and it will be brought out to center by Haley Wickenheiser. The Wick in over the line on the left wing side now. Slams the brakes on, battling there with Ouellette. She takes a shot, it bounces over to the far corner. A centering pass, Lovell in front of the net. Esposito with a shot. And Labonte with her first quality save of the hockey game.
And watching Charlene Labonte sometimes is like watching artwork on the ice, is it not? She always stays so calm, cool, and collected. She did have to make a bit of a sprawling save there. No surprise when you've got Haley Wickenheiser coming in. She's still such a smart hockey player, even though she's a rookie. She's been around for quite a while.
Talking about the quick start for the Canadiens here tonight. In the 2 games that they played out in Calgary, they outshot Calgary 13-2 in the first period. And a penalty here to Les Canadiens at the end of that play to Bro. Might have been a roughing call at the end of the play. We'll have to get confirmation from the PA announcer as Les Canadiens will ice the puck. Mickelson out there. Saulnier on the back end. Jenner on the right wing side with Campbell as Mickelson brings it into the offensive zone and rolls it down low for Campbell. In the far corner, battling there with Julie Chu. Chu comes up with the puck, loses a handle on it. As on the far side, that's Curio. Back to the blue line it goes. That was not Curio, that was Jenner. Number 19, Mickelson from the top of the elbow. Takes the shot. Campbell feathers it through to the far side. Puck laying in the slot, and the Canadiens will ice the disc. Reset here for both teams with 1:15 to go on the power play. Laquette up the right wing side in the offensive zone to the half-court centering pass in behind Saulnier. And it'll be Hill for the Canadiens up the far side. Nobody there to get it out, but it was slowed down just enough for Noémie Morin to play it out to center ice. The Canadiens this season have 3 shorthanded goals as Bette has one of them. And she has the puck in the offensive zone, ragging the puck and time off the clock. 45 seconds to go in the power play. Wickenheiser now back, reverses it. Behind the net, Cudmore has it. Out the far side, spinning away from Emmanuel Blais, and now the pass comes out on the right wing side. Laquette into the offensive zone, getting around Chartrand. Behind that she goes as Chartrand falls to the ice. Centering pass in front for Esposito, but the puck was in between the stick and her skates, and she was unable to get a shot on goal. 20 seconds to go in the power play. Laquette at the blue line takes a shot. Paroff is bothering her as the puck hit Paroff in the skates. Laquette with it again at the right point. Walking the blue line, now comes over to the wall, feathers it towards the goal. Lavelle tips it just wide of the net. Blais on the far side, 4 seconds to go in the power play, and the Canadiens will clear to the blue line. Wickenheiser knocks it down. Esposito, far side, battling with Blais. Blais up with it, and she will now skate it out to center ice. Gives it to Caroline Ouellette, who just jumped over the boards. She's into the offensive zone, going wide left side towards the goal, takes a shot! And the stop by Delaney Bryan, as she had to be sharp there, looking at the short side.
Really good kill by the Canadiens, especially like the work of Jordana Paroff to keep that puck at the blue line by Laquette. She tried desperately to center that pass and just wasn't able to because Paroff was playing a good, clean game around her. Didn't take any unnecessary penalties, and they were able to kill off the 2 minutes.
Davis and Clément Aydra taking the face-off, and Calgary controls. Crom up the far side, Out to center ice. That was Warren. She'll play it over to the near side for Crom. Crom backhands it. Excuse me, that is Davis. Sarah Davis, number 9, not number 8, as Crom is on the far side. Here is Katia Clément-Edra to Ouellette, just inside her own blue line. Gets it to the line, and actually does just get over the blue line. So an offside against Calgary, and they'll reset with 15:20 to go in the opening period. No score in the game between Calgary and Montreal.
You know, if I had to put money on this game, I wouldn't have guessed it would be a really tight scoring affair. There wouldn't be a lot of goals. I would have expected a lot with these two offensive dynamos in the CWHL, but so far they've been playing it really, really tight, and it's still 0-0.
Off the face-off, Mickelson controls. Left side, Cudmore plays it into the offensive zone. Behind Lynette, that was Labonte leaving it there for one of her teammates, and now Bette will lift it to the blue line. At the left point, Takuchi keeps it in momentarily, but Bette comes up with it over to Deschênes, on the left wing side. She'll get it to the blue line, but no further, as Saulnier springs Jenner free on the left wing side. She's into the offensive zone. Jenner, centering pass. Saulnier could not come up with it as the pass was just in behind her. Ouellette now springs Bette free on the right wing side. She's got Rougeau left wing, and Deschênes going towards the goal. To Poulain into the slot. She had her stick lifted by Jenner. On the back check is Les Canadiens play it back to the blue line. Chu off the boards for Deschênes. And in her own zone, Brianne Jenner with it. Jenner up the middle. Saulnier just out of her reach, but she touched the puck, so no icing on the play. That allows both teams to go for a line change. Pass out of the reach of Oles. And Laquette back in her own zone for the Inferno. Up to Turnbull, juking and jiving left wing side in the offensive zone. To the half-board, stick check there by Chartrand, and Les Canadiens will play it out to center. Haley Cudmore comes across the blue line to the near side to Laquette, straight up the middle. Turnbull tips it at center, but Oles picks it off. Here's Leslie Oles back the other way for Les Canadiens. She puts the brakes on at the top of the face-off circle. Centering pass there for Perov. Didn't connect. Here's Oles with a drive, and it goes off a leg and out the left side. Oles down low into the corner for Blais. Here's Leslie Oles working off of the left wing face-off circle. She left it there for Blais, but Hag comes up with it for the Inferno. And Laquette will now skate it to the blue line and out to center ice. Lead pass up the middle, just out of the reach of Jenna Cunningham. And in her own zone, starting the rush up is Carly Hill for the Canadiens. She goes right to left into the offensive zone, and she will put the brakes on, roll the puck around to the far corner. Noemi Marin could not get to it, and Esposito will tick it out to center for Wickenheiser, but she's caught on the back check by Ouellette, and the puck rolls into the offensive zone, right side. Lovell plays it over to the far boards for the Inferno. Esposito battling along the boards on the far side, now comes to the left wing face-off circle. To the front of the goal she went, but Ouellette separated her from the puck, and back come Les Canadiens on a 2-on-1. Here is Marin towards a goal, backhand shot, as she took a beautiful feathering pass from Clément-Edra and could not put it past the outstretched toe of Delaney Ryan. Here's Clément-Edra behind the net, centering pass broken up by Wickenheiser. She'll bring it back deep in her own zone and now curl between the rings, looking for an outlet pass. Slowly bringing it out to center, and now we'll play it to Esposito, who tips it into the offensive zone. Warren on the forecheck, and Labonte will play it off of Warren over the glass and out of play.
One thing I'd like to see more of from the Canadiens right now is a net presence. They're taking a lot of their shots from the outside, and with the exception of that Marin shot that we just saw, they haven't really been going to the crease, whereas every opportunity the Calgary Inferno have, they've been really taking it to Charlene Labonte.
Poulain and Davis will face it off just outside of Les Canadiens' blue line on the near side. Deschênes plays it back to Saunders and over to the far side. Skating out to center is Amar. She'll play it to the blue line of the offensive zone, but Mickelson has it now for Calgary. Ahead to Turnbull. She chips it past Saunders and gives chase, catching up to the disc. Puts the brakes on in the corner. Good back check there by Amar as the puck goes to the far side. Here is Warren. Back to the line. Takuchi plays it down low. Turnbull comes out, takes a shot, stop, rebound, lays loose in the crease, and it's corralled by the Canadiens' blue liner, Amar. Got at the blue line, Mickelson with a drive that goes well wide of the target. Warren on the forecheck behind the net, puck rolls over to the near side, and Kim Deschênes will skate it out to center ice, and she plays it ahead, goes off of Mickelson to the far side. Bette now will lift the puck into the offensive zone as Les Canadiens go for a line change. 11:35 to go in the first period, no score in an up-tempo first period between the two top teams in the CWHL. Laurent Rougeau at the blue line, loses the handle on the puck, going towards the goal was Saunier. Her pass in front goes off of a skate and rolls harmlessly in on Labonte, who goes down to the butterfly to make the stop.
Jill Saunier is not somebody you want to give a lot of ice right now. She's one of Calgary's best players this season. She was an all-star last weekend, and watching her play this year has been such a treat. She is so fast. If you give her just an inch, she's going to take a mile.
Saunier had a couple of really good chances last week in the all-star game at Air Canada Centre as well.
It was nice to see such a great turnout, too, for that game at the ACC.
6,000 paid tickets for the game, 22 private boxes, all paid for this year. It's amazing to see the progression in 1 year in Toronto with that all-star game. And a lot of Canadienne fans at that game as well. Here's Paroff to Oles. Her wrist shot goes off of the stick of Jenner over to the near side. At the blue line, Julie Chu plays it down low for Paroff. She's taken to the boards, behind the net, coming up with it. That was Blais. Back to the blue line she goes for Chu. Chu sidesteps the check of Saunier, but away at center, here comes Campbell in over the left wing side. Centering pass, nice poke check there by Labonte, right onto the stick of Jordana Paroff, who skates it out to center. Her pass ahead on the left wing side for Willette. Willette tries to sidestep the check of Jackie Peary, but a good job by the captain to take her to the far boards, 10:30 to go in the first period. Zeros on the board. Saunier in her own zone. Up the near side, broken up there by Morin. Morin on the near side. Still battling. So's Clément Aydra. And Willette has it down low. Battling with Jackie Peary. Peary takes Willette to the boards. Morin with it. Morin will backhand it back to the blue line. Chartrand plays it back down low on the congested near boards. Willette behind the net. For Clément Aydra, back to the blue line, it goes to Chartrand. Chartrand, right point, Carly Hill winds, shooting, rising shot, knocked down in front as Marin tipped it down, but just tipped it wide of the cage. Here's Jenner in her own zone. She will backhand it out to center. The Canadiens go for a partial line change. Calgary will get most of their 5 players off of the ice. As Chartrand takes a line drive from the left point. That is stopped by Delaney Bryan.
What a shot Chartrand has. I would definitely not be one in front of that shot.
But as you said, Robin, no net presence there to be able to redirect the pass, or the shot, excuse me.
Well, now that Marie-Philippe Poulin and Anne-Sophie Bété are on the line, I'm hoping to see a little bit more net presence from the Canadiens, because those are 2 players that are not afraid of the blue paint.
Bro will play it down low. Poulin behind the net. Almost had the puck, but Mickelson with a good job to take the puck away from her. Poulin up with it to Deschênes in front of the net. Deschênes leaves it there for Aymar. Her shot that was rising, and a good job by Brian to reach back and extend her left arm to catch the puck.
Kim Deschênes doesn't look out of place on that line with Anso and MP at all. She definitely looks like she belongs, and her numbers have been going up steadily this season. She earned that bounce up to the first line. 21
points. Third leading scorer for Les Canadiennes, both in goals and in points. And off the face-off, the Canadiens will draw a penalty here, as Blais will get the gate for hooking. Esposito into the offensive zone, but Bro touches the puck. And despite the fact that we have a very high-pitched, almost basketball whistle in the house tonight, it is a penalty against the Canadiens. The Canadiens a 1-for-1 on the penalty kill so far in the hockey game.
They got into some trouble their last weekend series, taking a few too many penalties, and that's something they're going to want to scale back on, is playing a little bit more disciplined.
Leslie Oles actually gets the gate for the hook. I misspoke earlier, so that sends Calgary to its second power play. They're 0 for 10 against the Canadiens this season on the advantage, as Jenner comes over to the near side. Jenner leaves it there for Campbell at the right half wall. Pass far side for Mickelson. Mickelson walks the blue line over to the near side. Saunier and her will exchange positions. She'll pass it to Saunier, who will play it to Campbell. Campbell far side for a slap shot by Jenner that goes wide of the near post. The Canadiens try to clear it. Saunier gets to the wall to keep it in. And now on the second attempt, it's cleared to the blue line by Poulin. Knocked down by Campbell. Mickelson, left point. Spins away from Poulin. Mickelson, top of the arc. She will dish off right side for Campbell. She fans on the back pass to her. And Willette will step up as that forces Calgary to dump it in on the late offside. Willette at the Calgary blue line will play it in deep. Bété, as we mentioned, one of the best penalty killers in the league out there for Les Canadiennes. Mickelson leaves it to a curling Haley Wickenheiser. Straight up the middle, long pass that goes off of Lovell, but she could not corral the disc at the blue line, or else she had about 60 feet to the goal with nobody in front of her, other than Charlene Labonte. Centering pass. Oh, a good kick save there by Labonte off of the stick of Cudmore, who let a low drive go from the middle of the slot. 35 seconds to go in the power play for Calgary. They clear the zone. Laquette brings it back in. She'll skate at the half boards, right wing side. Bother there by Chartrand. Now she'll play behind the net. Esposito gives chase. Carly Hill takes her to the boards. Wickenheiser back to the line. Cudmore, left point. Cudmore to Wickenheiser. She sidesteps the check of Bette. Comes to the middle of the rink. Pushes Bette down, gives it to Laquette. Laquette centering pass goes off of Marin into the slot. Esposito, a shot that is kicked off of the foot of Labonte over the glass and out of play.
Leslie Oles in the box right now. She was one of the girls that was at the Cedars breast cancer clinic last week, and she had her grandmother had breast cancer actually, and Carolyn Willette's aunt had breast cancer. So there's a few girls on the ice who know people who have dealt with this, and you got to think that they're going to want to leave it all out there on the ice in honor of their family members.
So the face-off comes back out in neutral ice with 7 seconds to go in the penalty to Leslie Oles. Poulin wins the draw, and Peary has it now for Calgary to Turnbull as the second Canadienne penalty has expired. So now Calgary 0 for 11 on the season against Les Canadiennes. Puck just inside the Canadienne blue line. Oles now tips it into the offensive zone. Warren back to play it for Calgary. Far side for Crom. Crom up the far boards, tries to go up the middle. Blay intercepts. She runs into Paroff. Davis almost came up with it, and here's Warren again over to the near side, this time for Turnbull. She will skate into her own zone, play it to the far side for Erica Crom. Pass up the left wing side. Warren tips it in on goal, and Labonte will play it over to the near side for Karel Amar. Amar gets it out to center, but Cunningham intercepts. She'll play it back in on the laid off side. This will allow the Canadiens to come up with it and play it out to center. Kim Deschênes on the right wing side into the offensive zone. Held up there just enough by Takuchi so that she couldn't get she couldn't control the puck. And now the puck comes out in front of the net with a shot by Bette. Puck bounces over to the near side. Rougeau down low for Oles. Oles centering pass broken up there by Hag. She plays it to the near boards, broken up again by Les Canadiennes. Esposito has it for Calgary. She tries to lift it out to center. Goes off of Deschênes to Cunningham into the offensive zone. Her low wrist shot goes wide on the short side. Julie Chu will now skate it out to center ice. Chu goes wide to the right wing side. The USA captain at the Sochi Games will play the puck back in deep to the Inferno zone and then go for a line change. Clément Aydra, and we'll let her out there on the top line for the Canadiens with Noémie Marin, and Marin will play it into the offensive zone. 5:30 to go in the first period. No score in the hockey game. Laquette between the rings in her own zone. Now we'll pass it up to Campbell, who gets into the offensive zone. Dishes off right side here. Saunier, her pass just out of the reach of the outstretched arm of Jenner as she had an open cage to tip the puck into. Clément Aydra back the other way for the Canadiens. Sidesteps the check of Laquette just inside the blue line. Continues with the puck behind the net for Willette. She's bothered there by Laquette, and Jenner has it for the Inferno. Starting the rush up left wing side. 5 to go in the first period. Jenner into the offensive zone. Jenner takes a shot that goes wide of the net on the near side. Campbell goes hard to the boards, got her stick caught in the boards and fell to the ice. And that allows Clément Aydra to bring the puck out to center ice for Les Canadiennes, and she will play it in deep as Montreal goes for a line change. Wickenheiser skating up the right side, cross ice pass, tipped into the offensive zone by Lovell. That forces Labonte to play the puck over to the far boards. Lovell gets to it, but she plays it behind the net, intended for Wickenheiser, broken up there by Les Canadiennes, and out to center. Here's Jordana Paroff, the former Toronto Furies player, gives it to Oles, centering pass, and a great stop by Delaney Bryant, who goes across. Now Blay has it in her skates, but she could not get the shot away as she was hauled down, and a great scoring chance, two of them there for Les Canadiennes. But Delaney Bryant stands tall.
Wow, Emmanuelle Blais, if she hadn't tripped over and fallen right there, she had that puck on her stick, and that would have been a goal.
Esposito, kiss pass up the right wing side. Davis goes wide into the corner. Bro seals her off, and coming up with it is Poulin. Poulin up to Bette. The puck comes over to the far side. And then Deschamps gives it back to Bette to Poulain just inside of the blue line, but a turnover there as Calgary will play it deep into the Canadiennes zone. Rougeau over to the near boards where it's cleared up the wall by Aymar out to center. Here's Kim Deschamps with it. She overskated the puck, though, just inside the blue line, and Warren was able to get it to the blue line and out as Poulain brings it back in on the offside. 3:24 to go in the opening 20.
That was like a good 3 minutes of play without a whistle there. That was quite a long stretch. I was just thinking of last week at the All-Star game on the Friday, they did the draft, and afterwards, Julie Chu had taken her teammate Marie-Philippe Poulain as the first overall pick. Her second choice was Caroline Ouellette, and I asked her, oh, is that going to be a bit of a problem for you, Caro? And she says, you know what, if I was Julie, I would have done the exact same thing.
Here is Turnbull on the right wing side for Calgary into the offensive zone. Slams the brakes on just below the goal line. Julie Chu takes her player to the end boards as the puck comes to the half wall now. Ouellette battling there, and she comes up with it, clears to the line. Laquette knocks it down. Davis over to Laquette. Laquette takes a wrist shot. It's blocked in front, and back the other way come the Canadiens on a 3-on-2. Here is Marin to Ouellette with a shot. The rebound! And again, Delaney Bryan plays it over to the far side, standing tall here in this first period as Campbell brings it out to center. 2-on-1 back the other way for Calgary. Campbell, feather across, shot, and it goes wide of the mark as Saunier was streaking as she just jumped over the boards. Saunier far side, her centering pass is broken up as Chartrand will play to the far boards. Perhoff has to come back to play it, but it's tipped back in by the Inferno. Here is Cathy Chartrand on the near side, lifting it to the blue line, knocked down by Saunier as her and Chartrand will battle now just inside the Canadienne blue line with 2:15 to go in the period. And Oles will play it up the left wing side. Here's Emmanuel Blais, who had a scoring chance just a few moments ago. Gives it to Perhoff. Perhoff goes wide left side into the corner. Perhoff juking and driving behind the net. Centering pass that was broken up there nicely by Brianne Jenner, and she's back the other way for Calgary. Jenner through the neutral ice, plays it over the left side for Campbell. Campbell just at the top of the left wing faceoff circle, tries to play it in deep, but a good job there by Carly Hill to stay with it. And Blais battling now in neutral ice for it as Les Canadiens go for a line change with $1:45 to go in the opening period. Saunier in her own zone. Up the left wing side, it goes off of Turnbull, who was falling to the ice. No icing on the play as she was able to get her stick on it. Carly Hill, near side for Deschamps from Poulain, and it is out to center. Deschamps overskates the puck, and back the other way comes Megan Mickelson. Her wrist shot blocker to side by Levante to the far corner. Cunningham plays it to Turnbull. Turnbull runs into her player on the far side. That is Aymar. And Aymar will try to sidestep Cunningham. Cunningham steals the puck, though. Centering pass goes over to the near side of the near point. Laquette's shot was knocked down in front of the net by Poulain. And Les Canadiens will skate it out to center. Here's Ann-Sophie Bette. And so goes wide to the right side. Deschamps just onside. Bette with a wrist shot. And Delaney Bryan holds on and then dropped the puck, but held it long enough to get a stoppage in play.
55 seconds left to go in the period, but you're going to want to stay with us through the first intermission. We're going to be chatting with Jeff Shemy, the director of the Cedars Cancer Clinic at the MUHC. He's the guy that gave us the tour at the breast cancer clinic last week. I was there with Carly Hill, Leslie Oles, Sarah Lachance. It was a great experience. So he'll join us during the first period and talk a little bit more about where that money goes.
10-3 of the shots on goal in this first period in the Pink the Rink game here at the Centre Etienne des Marteaux. 50 seconds to go in the period. Wickenheiser up to Laquette, streaking left wing side. Slams the brakes on just inside the blue line, looking for somebody in front, wrists it into the corner for Wickenheiser. Haley Wickenheiser curling out of the far corner. She had her stick lifted for a moment as she went back to the blue line and plays it down low. Lorien Rougeau comes up with a puck. Over to Chu to Ouellette as the Canadiens are trapped into the defensive zone here. Wickenheiser working hard just inside the blue line, trying to gather up the disc as the puck comes over to the near boards. Still battling for it. Esposito and Ouellette trying to lock it up, trying to make sure that her Team Canada teammate Wickenheiser doesn't come up with it. Cudmore plays it into the right wing corner. One shot coming up here. Cudmore's shot is knocked down by Ouellette, and she will clear it to center as the buzzer goes to end the very fast first period of play. Shots on goal. The unofficial total that we have right now is 10-3 in favor of Les Canadiennes and scoreless after 20 minutes of play. Robin, your thoughts on the first period?
The first period was, I thought that the Canadiens were getting a lot of chances on Delaney Bryan, who stood really tall, but it was only later in that first period that they had any real quality scoring chances. Again, in the second period, I'm going to want to see these girls going a little bit harder to the net, generating more of a presence and not just sticking around the perimeter. For Calgary, I'm going to want to see them getting into the Canadiens zone a little more often. We're seeing a lot of ice time right now for Brianne Jenner, Megan Mickelson, and they're going to want to carry that puck in, keep it in the Canadiens zone, and not just keep it in, but get some rubber on Charlene Labonte, who's looked good today, but hasn't really had a lot of work this afternoon.
So no score after 20 minutes of play. When we come back, our first period intermission. From the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux in Montreal, you're watching CWHL Live. CWHL Live is brought to you in part by Scotiabank, by the Dairy Farmers of Canada, fueling women's champions, by Winsport Canada, Sportsnet, Bauer, Tim Hortons, Toyota, by the Globe and Mail, Molson Coors, Bridgeforce, Porter Airlines, Gong Show, Oh My G, the Calgary Flames, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens. No score in the hockey game between Les Canadiennes and the Calgary Inferno after 20 minutes of play. We're now going to send it over to Robin Flynn, who is standing by with her first intermission guest. Robin?
Thanks, John. I'm here with Jeff Shammy, President and CEO of the Cedar Cancer Foundation. You were kind enough to help us get a tour of the new facility at the MUHC last week. Can you just talk a little bit about what your role is with the foundation?
Thank you very much, Robin. So the Cedars Breast Clinic at the MUHC is our facility where almost more than 20,000 women annually come for their tests, their breast examinations. They see surgeons, radiologists, and it's a center of excellence where it's a one-stop visit where a woman can, if they find an irregularity, a woman can have a digital mammogram, an ultrasound, and if they find something, a biopsy, all within 4 hours. So it is amazing. And then, as I said, surgeons, radiologists, technologists, and we also, Cedars, our foundation supports the wellness initiative, which tonight, Les Canadiennes, we're so grateful that you've chosen us as the beneficiary, and this helps our breast cancer patients. So out of 20,000 visits of women who come to the center, last year there were about 580 breast cancers found, and we work with the practitioners work with the breast cancer patients and plan their treatment of care. And it's really, we're just so grateful to community outreach and what Les Canadiennes and what you're all doing with awareness, helping the women who are being treated at the McGill University Health Center.
Over the last 5 years, the Canadiens have donated over $50,000 to the Cedars Breast Cancer Clinic, specifically for the wellness portion of that. What exactly does that entail?
So this, under the leadership of the director, Dr. Sarkis Metarisian, it looks at the whole person for care. So there's a psychologist helping women, helping the breast cancer patient with psychosocial supportive care. There's a kinesiologist. There's therapists, there's art therapy, music therapy, there's exercise, nutrition, all the different facets that assist in the wellness of our patients, and that's funded by the community outreach, and we're so grateful to Les Canadiennes for supporting this. Thank you.
And if there's somebody watching right now on the internet, they're not in Montreal, they can't come to this game, how can they help out and donate if they want to?
It's a great question. So we're very simple, www.cedars.ca. Click on donate, and then you can do a drop down right to, in fact, you can actually support this event and donate to tonight's event, and your donation, which you'll get a full tax receipt instantly online, will go to support women at the Cedars Breast Clinic, and we're very grateful, and we appreciate very much that.
Thanks so much for your time, Jeff.
Thank you so much, Robin.
Kimmy, you do know that there's only 4 seasons, right?
Then how do you explain the way kids wish away the summer because we can't wait to play in the fall? Or how teammates often become best mates? Or how families happily vacation in Winnipeg in January because that's where the tournament is? So you see, Miss Woods, there is a 5th season, and it's the best season in Canada.
So you're talking about hockey?
Oh, it's more than just hockey, Miss Woods.
Scotiabank is proud to support over 5,000 teams in Canada's 5th season.
100% drive. 100% passion. 100% effort. But women in sports get only 5% of the attention. Canada's dairy farmers believe women in sports should be seen and heard loud and clear. With Fueling Women's Champions, we're shining a light on women athletes at every level. Join us. #ChampionHer.
No score after 20 minutes of play here at the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux between Les Canadiennes de Montréal and the Calgary Inferno. Shots on goal in that first period, 9-4. John Bauer, Robin Flynn, and our entire ISI Live crew here in Montreal. As Robin, we take a look at the goal-scoring leaders here in the CWHL. Of course, Natalie Spooner's been outstanding this year, Marie-Philippe Poulin, but you really wanted to talk about the next two right there, and Ann-Sophie Bette and Elena Lovell, who don't necessarily get the same publicity as those other two superstars.
Ann-Sophie Bette in particular, I've been reading up a lot about just her career so far, and she's 27, and she's, you know, even before she was playing on a line with Marie-Philippe Poulin, who it's her first season in the CWHL, she's a rookie. She's always been an offensive threat for the Canadiennes, and at this point I'm starting to wonder if she should be getting some national team recognition. She doesn't usually get an invite to these things. She was part of the program for Team Canada when she was younger for the U22 program, but ever since then she hasn't really been part of it, and at this point I don't think that you can ignore her any longer, and I don't think Hockey Canada can ignore her any longer.
But her and Lovell both have a similar body style. They're not very big players.
5'4".
And that, I think, is one of the things that hurts them in the potential for moving into the national team pool.
Yeah, I know that the average height for Team Canada at the last Olympics in Sochi was 5'7", and a lot of those girls leaned up a little bit high. Only one girl on the invitation roster at the most recent camp this week was smaller than Ann-Sophie Bette, 5'3". So it would be very difficult, but she brings so much speed, she brings so much offense, and especially when she's playing on a line with Marie-Philippe Poulin, they play really well together. They've got fantastic chemistry. If Chris Kunitz can go and play for an Olympic team because he has chemistry with Sidney Crosby, then why can't Ann-Sophie Bette?
Very good point, and that's one of the things that with a speedster like Bette, who is probably one of the best penalty killers around, certainly could be somebody that should get consideration for that. And of course, as I mentioned, Lovell, who has been phenomenal all year long for Calgary. Again, another young, dynamic young woman who could get some consideration. Speaking of Les Canadiennes, Brampton, off the top of the broadcast tonight, our next broadcast here on CWHL Live comes tomorrow afternoon when Toronto is in Brampton at 1:30. That's 11:30 Mountain Time. Next Saturday night, Toronto is in Boston for a 7:30 puck drop. That it could clinch a playoff berth for Toronto. And next Sunday afternoon, we have a 1:30 matinee here on Super Bowl Sunday from Montreal as the Canadiens host the Brampton Thunder. And depending on what happens in this two-game weekend set here, that could be a game that could determine who's jumping up into second or possibly first place.
And we'll talk about this a little bit more with CWHL Commissioner Brenda Andrus after the second period, but there's a new format for the playoffs this year. That includes a best-of-3 series in the semifinals, and the team higher in the standings gets home ice. So for the Canadiens, you know, you really want to be higher up, either first or second place.
And it's for all three games. It's not just two out of three. It's all three games. As the Canadiens come back onto the ice with their traditional home reds with blue striping. And the fans responding to that, as now all of the jerseys are on auction here in the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux. But also, as Robin has mentioned on a couple of times, and she's put it out on her Twitter, @LadyHabs. If you're not following her, why aren't you? You should be, because she covers not just Les Canadiennes and the Canadiens, but also the entire CWHL. Always good information there. But she has links to where you can bid on some of the items in the auction, and as Jeff Shamish said in the first intermission, that you can go to cedars.ca as well to make a donation to the Cedars Breast Cancer Center.
And it's not even just, you make a donation in general is wonderful, but you can even donate specifically to this event. If you want to be part of it, you're watching at home and you want to be part of Pink in the Rink, you can do so by going to cedars.ca. Every little penny counts. The Canadiennes have given them over $50,000 over the last 5 years, but it's not enough. It's not enough until nobody has to deal with breast cancer anymore.
9-4, as we mentioned, with the shots on goal in the first period in favor of the Canadiennes. Calgary had a pair of power plays in that opening 20. They were 0 for 2, and they've gone 0 for 11 against Les Glorieuses this season. The Canadiennes will skate left to right here in period number 2 as Labonte plays the puck to Julie Chu on the near side, up to Marin. Warren battling there with her, as does Davis, as the puck goes over to the far side. Here's Caroline Ouellette leaving it there for Rougeau. Rougeau will tip it out to center for Clément Aydra. She goes wide left wing side. Clément Aydra will play it behind the net. Laquette has it for the Inferno. She puts the brakes on, goes up the middle for Warren. Warren at center, over to the right wing side, into the offensive zone. And a shot by Blair Turnbull goes over the glass and out of play.
And that puck hits the fleur-de-lis flag hanging over the rink. I was just noticing as Katia Clément-Aydra was skating it up the other way that she's so good along the boards. When she has the puck and she's skating up and she's got some speed coming into the offensive zone, she seems almost unstoppable.
Face off to the left of Labonte. It will be Poulain taking the draw for Les Canadiennes. And Jenner wins it for Calgary. Saunier on the far side, behind the net it goes. Poulain will play it over to the near boards, just out of the reach of Bette. She skates and will chip it out to center ice. Taguchi back towards the blue line. Campbell on the far side for Saunier, and she will play it in deep. She had to check to see whether or not her teammates were onside. A turnover, and Jenner almost punched the puck into the back of the cage as Chartrand turned it over. Here's Jenner again with a steal. Backhand shot. Chartrand goes down and blocks it. Jenner again with a centering pass, and it just goes out of the reach of Saunier. On the far side, controlling it there, that's Jessica Campbell. She'll roll it over to the near boards. Chartrand will this time lock up Jenner so that she can't come up with a disc, and that springs Bette free on the right wing side. Bette gets around the check of her player, that is Takuchi, and she will play behind the net. On the near side, it is Oles. Back to the blue line, it goes for Amar. Amar back to Oles, give and go. Cross ice pass, centering pass, but Esposito got her stick into the passing lane and deflected the puck high to the far boards. Mickelson to Esposito. Now she will lift it out to center, but it's broken up there by Bro. Bro back paddling at the center red line over to Peroff. Peroff now into the offensive zone. Here's Leslie Oles going wide. Oles into the near corner. Oles has the puck still, and she'll play it down low as Mickelson now has the puck behind over on the near side. And Mickelson give and go behind the net with her defensive partner Takuchi, as Calgary will bring it out to center. Amar just levels Esposito with a two-handed check in the neutral zone. No penalty on the play. Esposito centering pass broken up there by Bro as she will curl back into the far corner, plays it off the end boards. Hab comes down the left wing side, can't control. Crum plays it into the paraphernalia of play. The puck comes over the near side. Ouellette lifts it ahead to Katia Clément-Aydra. She puts the brakes on at the half boards on the near side, gives it to Ouellette. Ouellette curls. Back to the blue line she goes. Rougeau with a winding slapper that is knocked down by Crum in front, and Saunier has it on the far side. Saunier 3-on-1 for Calgary. Saunier, right side, centering pass. Going down low to block it. That was Rougeau, as Cunningham had a great chance. Hab at the left point, into the slot. Tip pass by Cunningham that goes just wide of the mark. Great chances for Calgary here in the early stages of period number 2 in a scoreless draw. Noémie Marin in on the right wing side. While they're there by Cudmore, she plays to the far side. Centering pass! Deschênes with a shot in the blocker, stopped by Delaney Bryan. Behind the net it goes. Here's Poulain, back to the blue line for Carly Hill at the right point. Left side now for Cathy Chartrand, the captain. She will roll it into the corner. Bette in front, Poulain with a shot! And Deschênes could not tip that into the cage. Here is Saunier back out the other way, left wing side. She'll play it into the offensive zone as the Inferno go for a line change. Cathy Chartrand in her own zone, goes cross ice in front of her own goal for Kim Deschênes, picked off there by Warren. Warren has Davis going to the front of the goal, centering pass, and Davis couldn't get her stick down as she was locked up there with Chartrand. Slap shot goes right into the midsection of Poulain, and she is in pain as she skates over to the Canadiennes bench. She will actually go straight into the penalty box area as an icing call is has been made against the Canadiennes, and Marie-Philippe Poulin is down in the penalty box area, being tended to by the AT staff.
It looks like she took that shot off her hand right after the glove had popped off, so she didn't really have any protection for that puck that she just really took really rough off of her wrist. And she's still down being tended to over in the Canadiennes penalty box.
So we will try to bring an update to you as it becomes available. Facing it off to the left of Labonte. And Davis will take it to the far boards with Carly Hill. Warren on the left corner, plays it up the boards. Mickelson has it for the Inferno, but she's bothered there by Kim Deschênes, who is able to push it out to center. Davis backpedaling just inside her blue line to Mickelson, who plays it back over to Takuchi on the near side. Bete with a steal. Takuchi knocks it down. Turnbull will play it back into her own zone for Mickelson, as Mickelson curls below the right wing face-off circle. Now spins away from the check of Perroff. Blais forcing her as the Canadiennes picking up the forecheck here. Here's a steal. Perroff will send it towards the front of the goal. Broken up again by Mickelson. Mickelson over to the near half boards. Will now drop it back to to Turnbull, number 26. Blair Turnbull back to the far side. And now here is Warren out to center. She gets around the blue liners for the Canadiennes. Tries to step inside on Neymar. Puck rolls to the goal. And Charlene Labonte opts to take matters into her own left hand and gloves the puck.
Just a little an update on Marie-Philippe Poulin. She's sitting up now. When she first went off, she just went right down to the ground. She's sitting up. She seems to be okay. Doesn't look like she's grimacing. She's still talking to the therapist, but she has not returned to the Canadiennes bench as of yet.
Julie Chu in her own zone. Julie's busy these days, coach of the Concordia Stingers of the CIS. She led her team to a 4-1 victory at the University of Ottawa last night, and now is here on the ice, skating the puck out to center. Ahead on the right side for Marin. Marin feathers it through for Ouellette, but Peary locked her up. Peary with the steal of the pass intended for Ouellette, and she will backhand it over to the near side for Erica Crom. Crom will skate it towards the blue line. Pass intended for Saunier out of her reach, and that will be an icing charge against the Inferno. 14:34 to go in the middle stanza. No score in the hockey game. And I actually, Robin, as you and I spoke off air prior to the broadcast today, we thought this had all the makings of a high-scoring affair, and thus far, it's been a goaltender's duel.
Which is interesting to see. Delaney Bryan, while she has played very well and has a lot of wins for the Calgary Inferno this season, she only has an .892 save percentage, which is below league average. So I thought for sure that the Canadiennes were going to be able to get a couple past her.
Back the other way come Les Canadiennes on a 3-on-2. Here is Clément Aydra. Here to the slot. A wrist shot by Ouellette that was blocked. Good defensive play by Erica Crum. Now a wraparound by Ouellette. A second attempt. And she almost tipped it in on the short side, but a good job by Bryan to keep that left pad locked up against the post to stop the play.
There's one player that I love watching make that move, that wraparound, is Carolyn Ouellette, just because she's so tall and her arms are so long. That reach
is incredible. Reminds me of Dave Andrechuk.
Yes.
When he played in the NHL, he had that 7-foot reach that was able to do a lot of stuff in the slot and on wraparounds.
I think Carolyn Ouellette stands at about 5'10", 5'11", which is a little bit higher than league average.
And she's also got the speed and the power to be able to get it towards the goal as well. Here's Blais back the other way for the Canadiennes. And she spins Laquette around and will get the gate here for holding. So the Canadiennes will go to their third penalty kill of the hockey game. Calgary 0 for 2 on the contest.
She'll have to sit next to Marie-Philippe Poulin, who's still sitting inside the penalty boxes. Ann-Sophie Bete just went over and gave her a little bit of a face wash, saying, "Hope you're okay, buddy."
So Bete Ouellette will be up front on the PK. Chatna and Hill on the blue line for the Canadiennes. Esposito is out there with Wickenheiser and Lovell. On the blue line, Cudmore and Laquette. Calgary on the power play this year, only at 18.6%. That's third in the CWHL. But the Canadiens have the best penalty kill in the league, having only given up 2 goals against. Shorthanded now in 55 times this season. Ouellette brings the puck out to center. Chatna's with her. Ouellette into the slot. Ouellette has her pocket picked there, but maintains control of the puck, and she will play it back down into Canadian territory, just out of the reach of Julie Chu. Levante leaves it there for Chu. Chu will play it off of the boards near side ahead for Willette. 2-on-1. Willette has Peroff going towards the goal with a wrist shot. And a glove stop by Bryan. Back the other way. Here is Calgary into the offensive zone. That is Jenner with it behind the net. Jenner tries to sidestep a check of Julie Chu. Leaves it there for Warren. Campbell up with it. Turnbull, back to the line. Saunier to Mickelson. Winding shooting. Kick stopped by Levante as the puck comes over to the near side. Jenner centering pass. And a backdoor play by Campbell as she tried to tip it top shelf over the blocker of Levante. Mickelson to the near side for Warren. Warren down low for Campbell. 44 seconds to go in the power play. Back to Mickelson. Right side. Sonia with a drive and a stop by Levante. Puck goes over to the far side again. Calgary, good pressure on this power play as they have hemmed the Canadiens in the zone. Here's Jenner. Top of the arc. Laquette, slap shot, going low and blocking at Chu, and she will send it out to center ice just out of the reach of Jordana Peroff, who would have liked to have gotten it deeper into Calgary territory. Laquette knocks a stick right out of the hands of Julie Chu as she takes it to the far side. Here's Jessica Campbell, centering pass, Wickenheiser with a drive. Kick stop by Levante, and the puck goes over the glass and out of play with 8 seconds to go in the penalty kill for the Canadiens.
Charlene Levante has done absolutely everything right during this penalty kill. Sure, her play along the posts is so impressive. She's shaken off a little bit of rust there, I think. She hadn't been facing too much action thus far, and she just faced a barrage of shots, 3 scoring chances from the Calgary Inferno. But just the way that she hugs her post, the way that she gets her toe out for those saves, it's really fun to watch.
We're a second shy of the 8-minute mark of period number 2. Wickenheiser will take the draw here for Calgary. 8 seconds to go in the power play, but Wickenheiser thrown out of the face-off. So Lovell comes in, Esposito swaps positions with her, and the Canadiens will control. Karel Aymar over the far side, rims it up the boards, gets to the blue line, kept in by Cudmore. As back on the ice is Emmanuel Blais. So the Canadiens 3 for 3 on the penalty kill in the hockey game. Deschênes, her pass goes off a skate to the far side, and Lovell brings it into the offensive zone where she is rammed to the ice by Aymar, who is sitting on top of her. The referee says you should probably let her up, as Calgary's Esposito has it on the near side. Back to Laquette. Laquette, left point, takes the shot through traffic. I don't know how Levante saw that. There were 5 players, 2 of them in white jerseys in front of her, and she got down to make the stop.
Seeing a little bit of line juggling now. It's crazy how one player just sitting out for just a little bit can totally juggle your lines completely. We just saw Clément Hedra out there with Kim Deschênes.
Oh, and Emily Bocchia now on the ice for the Canadiens. A backhand tip by Davis on a shot that came in from the point from Crum, and the puck comes free. Levante without a stick. Chapman tries to give her the stick, and now she does have a piece of lumber in her hands. It's not the goalie stick that she'd like, but now the Canadiens will bring it out to center. That allows Chapman to take the stick back from Levante. Levante was going to go to the corner, but she has to go back without a stick. Here's Warren, in takes the shot, blocked by Chapman, who went down to the butterfly herself to help her goaltender, and now she will get the goalie stick back into the hands of Levante. Willette into the offensive zone, left wing side, behind the net for Noémie Marin. Bocchia out in front of the goal for Les Canadiens, as Calgary will send the puck down the ice, not far enough for an icing. That allows Calgary to get a line change. Laurent Rougeau with it, ahead to Deschênes. Poulain is back on the ice for Les Canadiens. Marie-Philippe Poulain with the puck on the near side, behind the net. Deschênes centering pass, Bette, and hits a skate in front, and it is corralled there by Calgary's Takuchi, who will skate it out to center ice. Have up the near side. Second attempt now will get it, Hague, into the offensive zone, as Calgary continues to try to change things up here. As we approach the midway point of the hockey game, no score between Montreal and Calgary here on CWHL Live. Cunningham tries to play it in deep. It goes off of the stick of Bette, and that allows Julie Chu some time to settle things down for the Canadiens. She'll come over to the near side for Marie-Philippe Poulain. Into the offensive zone. She has Bette to her right. Poulain with a drive! And a glove stopped by Delaney Bryan as she just snuck out that glove at the last moment. Here's another pass, backdoor play for Bette, just out of her reach, as Olds plays it to Bette behind the net. Aymar in front of the goal. Now is coming over the boards was Perov. Perov with it in neutral ice. Plays towards the blue line, but Jenner has it for Calgary as she will curl in her own zone up the near side for Saunier. Saunier ahead for Campbell. Campbell leaves it there for Jenner. Jenner's got nobody between her and the goal, but now she ran out of real estate as she ended up below the goal line. Campbell with a centering attempt. Amar knocked it down, and then on the follow-up, nobody expected it except for Charlene Labonte, who makes a spectacular blocker save on a shot from behind the goal line.
One thing we wanted to see from the Calgary Inferno in this period was more sustained pressure in the Canadiennes zone, and that's definitely something that we've been seeing from them. The only thing that we're not really seeing a lot of pressure is on their power play, and the Canadiennes, of course, have the best penalty kill in the CWHL, and you really have to watch out because they not only are good at stifling your offense, but sometimes they can come back the other way and score shorthanded, which is something they've done more often than not this year, twice against the Boston Blades a few weeks ago in Brassard.
5-4 the shots on goal in favor of Les Canadiens in the second period. As Perov will get it out to center. Leslie Olds up to Perov. Jordana Perov in. Right side. Tries to go back to Olds, but it hits the skate of Laquette and bounces gingerly into the near corner. Here's Laquette at the half board. She'll play it out to center ice. Caroline Ouellette now onto the ice. Picks the pocket of Saunier, and she will skate it into the offensive zone, left wing side. The half boards puts the brakes on. Now brings it back towards the blue line. Plays it to Carly Hill. Slap shot. Pass is tipped in front by Chartrand. And back the other way comes Calgary. Saunier again has her stick lifted by Ouellette, who has it now on the counter-attack for the Canadiens on the right wing side. Pass off left side. Meyer with a shot! And Brian got a piece of it to deflect it over to the near side. Chartrand down low for Marin. Noémie Marin, centering pass! And it just bounced over Kim Deschênes' stick. Here's Julie Chu below the goal line for Katia Clément-Hédra. The former Martlick gives it to the former Kerabin Deschênes. Back to the blue line for Rougeau. Rougeau into the right wing face-off circle. Below the goal line she goes. Behind it to Kim Deschênes. Looking for somebody in front. Tries to center it. It goes off of the skate of Haley Cutmore and all the way back down into Canadian territory, where Julie Chu will play it up the near boards. Ahead for Kim Deschênes. Deschênes in. Drop pass for Rougeau. Tries to go back to Deschênes. Here's Bette in the slot. But going down a low, blocking that was Sarah Davis, and Calgary will get it out to center ice. Davis knocks down Poulain, and the puck squirbles in the defensive zone for the Canadiens. Chu up the right side. Turnbull intercepts. Esposito back in on the right wing side. As the puck gets a skate and bounces out to center. Kim Deschênes now up the left side for Bette. She has Poulain in front of the net, but could not get the pass across as Jackie Peary came back to check her just inside the blue line. 7:17 to go in the second period. Zeros on the scoreboard between Calgary and Montreal as Lovell is into the slot. She had her stick lifted by Emmanuel Blais. And here's Bette leaving the puck there on the right wing side for Amar. Amar tries to go to Blais just inside the blue line. A high offensive zone turnover as Calgary will chip it off the windows and out to center ice. Wickenheiser over the boards for Calgary as Crom has it. Drop pass for Wickenheiser. She had her signals crossed with Lovell. And Calgary turns the puck over, and the Canadiens will bring it to the offensive zone. As the puck comes off the inboards, nobody saw it. Perov overskated it, and Delaney Bryant jumped on the puck to hold on for the whistle.
That line with Jordana Perov has had a couple of nice scoring chances in this period. Oddly enough, they're the line that's contributing the most offensively. As we've seen Marie-Philippe Poulain now take a couple of shifts since she took that puck off her wrist, but she doesn't quite look the same. She had that one wrister, but in her last shift, she was getting a little, she got her pocket picked a little bit at center ice. I'm going to keep an eye out on her and see if that line is able to generate any offense.
Pretty close to a full house here in Montreal tonight for this first place showdown between the Inferno and Les Canadiennes. Jenner curling just inside the blue line over to the near side. Takuchi out to center. Intercepted by Chartrand just inside her own blue line. She'll play it up the near boards. Takuchi inside her own blue line again. Banks it out to center. Ouellette has her pocket picked. Here's Campbell on the left wing side. She's got Jenner going to the goal. Saunier with a drive and a stop by Labonte. And she pounces on the rebound to keep this game with a pair of goose eggs on the scoreboard.
One thing that's really impressive about Charlene Labonte is knowing the moments not to give up any rebounds, something we just saw from her right there. When Jill Saunier is coming in and takes a hard shot like that and you make the save, pounce on it, cover it up, get the face off, allow everyone a chance to regroup.
Jenner, Campbell, and Saunier up front. Mickelson and Takuchi on the blue line for Calgary. Saunier with it. Into the corner, being watched over there by Poulain, Takuchi shot, knocked down by Bete. Bete held up there. Here's Bete with a 2-on-0 with Deschênes. Bete in, passes it across, but it rolls right in on goal. The fans wanted a penalty because Bete was held up in the neutral zone, and an interference call coming up here to Calgary, which may have saved a 2-on-0 for the Canadiennes.
Is that call going to Megan Mickelson? Because it looked like she was getting all up in Bete's business.
It's going to be Takuchi who took the penalty right at the blue lines, and that little delay was enough to take Ann-Sophie off of the rush. So the Canadiens go to their first power play. They are the best power play team in the CWHL at 20.3%. Calgary, the 5th ranked penalty kill, so the last place. They have only killed off 60 of 77 penalties that they've taken this year, and the Canadiens head-to-head are 2 for 9 on the power play. Bete, Poulain, and Willette up front. Chu and Rougeau on the blue line. But right now it's Calgary with the puck. As that is Turnbull in. Takes a shot, rebound! And in front of the goal there was Davis, and she almost tucked home a shorty. Here is Caroline Willette on the right wing side for the Canadiens, just inside the blue line. Coming up and forcing her to the wall was Hag. And behind the net it goes. Bete, centering pass! Willette scores! What a beautiful pass by Bete, but what soft hands by Caroline Willette to holds the twine on the far side. Power play goal, 1-0 Canadiens.
You see, Caroline Willette doesn't have to use that wraparound that we were talking about before. She does have that long reach, but she can also play in tight so well. We saw that beautiful setup from Ann-Sophie Bete to feed Caroline Willette. It's 1-0 on the power play. Canadiens over Calgary.
Time of the power play goal, 14:27 of the second period. So Ann-Sophie gets the assist on Caroline Willette's 9th goal of the season. And the Canadiens take a 1-0 lead on their first power play opportunity of the hockey game.
That's Caro's 3rd power play goal and Ann-Sophie's 3rd power play assist.
Well, we mentioned off the top of the broadcast it's a 1-2 punch between Poulain and Ann-Sophie on the power play, but you can't ever forget Captain Canada either.
Absolutely not. I mean, the rink is named after Caroline Willette, for goodness sake.
1-0 for Les Canadiens as the Tricolores have the puck in the offensive zone. Now Calgary has it on the far side. Saunier ahead for Campbell. Neymar with the steal. Give and go with Leslie Olds. Ahead to Blais on the left wing side. Blais gets around Jackie Peary. But coming back to play it was Crom. She'll leave it for Peary on the far side. She overskates it, but then slams on the brakes. Clears to the line. Gets here Clément Aydra with the steal. Here's Blais trying to play it down low. Oh, it's across it! Clément Aydra, and coming across with a spectacular stop again, Delaney Bryan. And she has gone post to post on 3 occasions this evening to rob Les Canadiens.
Liked what I saw from Clément Aydra there, using her skate to keep the puck in at the blue line and then getting it up into the corner and getting herself into position for that scoring chance. She's looking really good this evening.
Rougeau picks up the other helper on the opening goal of the hockey game at 14:27 on the power play. Willette her 9th of the campaign, 3rd on the power play from Ann-Sophie Bete and Lauriane Rougeau. Mickelson skating it up the middle of the rink. Willette tries to steal. She lifted her stick a couple of times and forces over to the near boards. Caro will play it into the offensive zone. Takuchi back behind her own net. She gives it to Haley Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser leaves it there for Mickelson. She will use the referee as a pick to avoid Noémie Marin, and that will allow Calgary to get it out to center. Here's Brittany Esposito. Right side takes the shot glove stop by Labonte. Nobody in front of that. Easy stop there by the veteran tender for Les Canadiens.
Canadiens look somewhat revitalized after scoring that power play goal. It's one thing to score on the power play, but it's another thing when you are able to use that to generate momentum for yourself. And you want to sustain that momentum. 4 minutes left to play in the second period, and you want to hold that lead. You don't want to go into the third tied with Calgary.
Reminder coming up in our second intermission, Brenda Andrus, the commissioner of the CWHL, will come by. We'll talk a little bit about the new playoff format and the agreement with the Ottawa Senators to host the Clarkson Cup Championship game for the next 2 years. That coming up in our second intermission here from Montreal. Rougeau chops down Davis on the far side. Now Turnbull comes in to play the puck. She'll get it back to the line. Laquette with a drive that is knocked down by Poulin, and she will play it to the line. Kept in by Laquette again, going low and blocking it is Julie Chu. Puck comes over to the near side. Davis now down low for Warren. 3:30 to go in period number 2. 1-0 Montreal. As Cudmore takes a long drive from the left point that is gloved by Levante, and she is feeling the groove. You can see it just by her reaction when she makes every stop now. Feels like she's in the game a little bit more, as that was Calgary's 13th shot of the hockey game to 18 for the Canadiennes.
I like seeing Julie Chu going down there and blocking shots as well, and I'm sure Charlene Labonte appreciates it so she doesn't have to face quite so many shots.
Jenner takes the draw to the right of Labonte. Jenner comes up with it, has her stick lifted there. A good play there by Perov to seal her off so that she could not get the shot away. Here's Emily Bacchia. She'll lift it off of the paraphernalia of Jordana Perov out to center. Bacchia on the follow-up will get it into the offensive zone. She's got Blay in front of the net as Bacchia takes it into the left wing corner. Behind the net she goes for Blay. Blay on the near side, tries to sidestep the check of Peary. Centering pass. Here's a shot by Perov that is blocked by Crom as the puck goes over to the far boards. Perov down low for Emmanuel Blay, but she had it tipped away from her by Crom as the puck comes over to the near side. Peary locks up Bacchia, and the puck is cleared up the near boards to the blue line, kept in. Here's Clément Aydra with the puck. She'll leave it for Imar at the blue line. She'll feather it into the right wing corner. Katia Clément Aydra rolls it towards the front of the goal. It goes off of Bacchia and right to Delaney Bryan, who goes down on her knees and covers the puck up with the glove.
Jordana Perov's Corsi has to be through the roof tonight. It seems like every time she's on the ice, she manages to keep the puck in the Calgary zone. And more often than not, that's a good thing, because if the puck is in the other team's zone, then it means they're not in your own zone, and that means they're not going to score any goals. And it's not like she's getting crazy favorable matchups either. She's on the ice against girls like Campbell, and it's not an easy task for Jordana Perov.
19-10 are the shots on goal in favor of the Canadiens with 2:25 to go in period number 2. A 1-0 lead is where it counts on Caroline Ouellette's goal on the power play midway through this second period. Lovell sprung free on the left wing side, tries to get around Hill, takes the wrist shot, blocker stopped by Levante as Lovell, who is always dangerous, saw daylight upstairs on the blocker's side, and she took a valiant attempt to put it just under the crossbar there.
It seems the only way you're going to beat Charlene Labonte is if you go high, because she is so good in that butterfly position at hugging the post, but she's not giving up anything, getting up high and not really giving a lot of real estate to the Calgary Inferno this afternoon.
Lovell with the Infernos leading 13 goals. She has it in the slot but could not get the shot away as Marin will clear it out to center ice on the near side. 2 minutes to go in the second period. 1-0 Montreal. Wickenheiser could not take the pass from Lovell. It was just out of her reach. Wickenheiser's good, and she's got a big reach, but not that long, as she needed probably another 18 inches on her stick to be able to knock that puck down as the puck goes off of a Calgary glove in their bench, so the faceoff will come back in Montreal territory.
It's so fun having a girl like Haley Wickenheiser in Montreal. It's her first season in the CWHL. She just wrapped up a lengthy CIS career in Calgary, and seeing her play with the Inferno and being a part of this organization is really, really great. And it was fun to see her at All-Star Weekend last weekend as well. As a rookie, she was an All-Star.
She had a lot of great things to say about the future of women's hockey in Canada. And of course, everybody keeps pressing her with the question, when are you going to retire? What are you going to do when hockey's done? And she still finds this too much fun, and she is still producing. So why should she even consider retiring? Same question was asked to Julie Chu and Caroline Ouellette last weekend, the veterans on the Montreal side, and the same response. We're having so much fun in a great league that is developing year after year, and if they can be mentors to these young women that are coming up behind them, why not?
And we've also seen they've already taken steps to move into the next phase in their career, with Julie Chu coaching at Concordia, Caroline Ouellette coaching an all-girls team at the Pee Wee level, going to be the only all-girls team in a competition coming up soon. And the first team they're going up against, coached by Marc Messier.
Yes, it's the Quebec International Pee Wee tournament coming up in March up at the Videotron Center in Quebec City. That's tough not to say the Colisée, isn't it?
It is. But as Caroline Ouellette said, the one good thing that they have for their team is that most of the girls on that team have no idea who Marc Messier is. They're too young.
As the puck pops up over the glass and out of play, the two number 9s, Sarah Davis from Calgary and Kim Deschênes from Les Canadiennes, tried to convince the officials who touched the puck last before it went over the glass with 1:15 to go here in the second period. But the officials say that it went off of the Calgary players, so the face-off will come to the right of Delaney Bryan. Betty Deschênes and Willette. Actually, there's change up, so it's Marin, Willette, and Katia Clément Aidra out there on the face-off for the Canadiens. Rougeau and Chu on the back end. Here is Marin taking it towards the goal, tries to punch it short side, a second attempt, and Bryan's pad came off the post, but nobody was able to put the puck into the vacant cage. Inside a minute to go in the second period. Willette down low for Marin. Marin to the half boards now, plays it back to the blue line for Rougeau, over to Chu. Chu winds, finds it in front by Willette, and a great stop by Delaney Bryan.
Caroline Willette is on her game tonight, and I know that Caroline Willette is never really off her game, but in particular this evening, she seems to have a nose for the net and wants to get another one past Delaney Bryan.
I would suggest at this point in time that Bryan is certainly aligning herself to be one of the three stars at the end of tonight's hockey game, because she has been spectacular on several occasions in tight in her own zone. Well, of course, she wouldn't be at the other end of the rink, because that would just be wrong on so many levels to see the goaltender in front of the other goaltender, so I'll just stop talking.
All-Star weekend is over, John.
Yes, it is. Here is Campbell into the slot for Calgary. Saunier with a backhand shot as she was falling to the centering pass, goes back to the blue line. Laquette with 20 seconds to go in the period. Her shot goes off of Kim Deschênes' stick. Over to the near side. 14 seconds to go. Mickelson has her pocket picked, and here's Bette on the breakaway. Ann-Sophie Bette going to the goal! Stick check by Mickelson, and a nice stop by Bryan. A great back check by Mickelson.
Wow, the Calgary Inferno have to be so happy to have her back. It's one thing to watch her play nationally, and another thing to watch her play with the Calgary Inferno. She is just so good at getting back there, and that would have been a goal for Ann-Sophie Bette. When you're in alone and your name is Ann-Sophie Bette, you're going to score 9 times out of 10, but not when you've got Megan Mickelson-Reid hot on your tail.
Face off to the right of Bryan with 7 seconds to go in the period. Early movement on the face off. And will then put time back on the clock or not? Well, they won't, so it will be Willette again taking the draw against Davis. This time 4.7 seconds to go. As 3 seconds expired on that last play. Marin will get a shot towards the goal. It goes wide to the near side as time expires. So the Canadiens score on the power play at 14:29 of the second period, which makes it 1-0 after 40 minutes of play here at the Centre Étienne Desmarteaux in Montreal in a battle for first place in the CWHL.
If my name's Delaney Bryan right now, I'm going to be talking to the girls between the periods and saying, hey, can you guys help me out a little bit? I faced a lot of rubber in that second period, and I need you guys to keep the puck out of our end and start firing a few more on Charlene Labonte, who admittedly has been also excellent today. And it looked like I wouldn't be surprised if both of them were members of the 3 stars, along with whoever has the game-winning goal, which right now stands to be Caroline Willette, who had the power play marker from Ann-Sophie Bette a few minutes earlier.
Shots on goal in that second period favor the Canadiens with 11 for a game total of 20. Calgary with 10 for a game total of 14 after 40 minutes of play. And the Canadiens lead 1-0 as we take a look at our stats summary after 2 periods of play. The big story, Robin, is on the power play with Calgary going 0 for 3 so far in the hockey game.
Yeah, that's definitely something that they need to be working on, and their special teams has been their issue this season. They're unable to score on the power play, and they give up goals when they're shorthanded. I think that in the third period, if they do get a power play opportunity again, they need to make the most of it, and they need to capitalize. Especially one of those opportunities in the second period, Marie-Philippe Poulin wasn't on the ice to kill the penalty, and she's used quite a bit with Ann-Sophie Bette shorthanded, so they really had an opportunity there that they squandered.
And they did have scoring chances. They are generating offense on the power play. It's just they have not been able to find a way to get it past Charlene Labonte through 40 minutes of play. 1-0, Montreal leading Calgary. We're going to take a quick timeout and come back with the commissioner of the CWHL, Brenda Andrus, as things continue here from Montreal on Pink the Rink night. It's 1-0, Les Canadiennes leading Calgary after 40 minutes of play. You're watching CWHL Live. 1-0, Montreal leading Calgary after 40 minutes of play on a power play goal by Caroline Willette. from Ann-Sophie and Laurent Rougeau at 14:27 of that second period. It's time now for our second period intermission interview. And now let's send it over to Robin Flynn, who's standing by with the commissioner, Brenda Andrus.
Thanks, John. I'm here with CWHL Commissioner Brenda Andrus. This is such an incredible event, and you're here, and what are your thoughts after seeing, full crowd, silent auction, great hockey game? It's great for women's hockey.
It's a great example of how hockey should be played, and if anybody was here right now, they'd be on the edge of their seats. This is absolutely a phenomenal game that's happening here. Couldn't get any better.
You were just talking off the air about that glove save that Delaney Bryan made, and you were saying you find it hard sometimes not to cheer because you want to remain impartial to all the teams. So what do you do to sort of calm yourself down so you don't get overexcited?
Well, I don't know if I calm myself down, because inside it's like I want to shout, but that glove save was absolutely phenomenal. And then, you take the rush back down with Carolyn on the power play goal, and it's right to the open side, and it's like you can't help but cheer. But on the same, I'm pretty equal. I like both teams. I like all the 5 teams within our league, but that's exceptional hockey played at its best.
This is a really special weekend with Pink in the Rink, with 60% of the ticket sales and the silent auction all going to benefit the Cedars Breast Cancer Clinic. You must be so proud of the girls. I know that they came to the Canadiennes organization about this 5 years ago saying they wanted to do something for the community, and I think that really represents the character of this team.
I think it's a prime example of the characters of all our teams. Like, we had the You Can Play game a couple of weeks ago. We have, at Christmas time, we have the teddy bear tosses. We have so many things that we like to give back to the community, and that's really what this league is completely about, is creating opportunities for our girls to go out into the community and have young girls look up to them and see that, you can grow up to be what you should be in life. And giving back is a way for us to continue to engage the community. And today you see it big time. You go downstairs, all the little girls and the mothers are going through on the auctions. There's so many things to do. And then you look out on our team and both players on both sets, and where wouldn't you want your child to kind of come to and look for these women as role models? They are outstanding. They give back to the community, and that's kind of what we're all about.
There's a new format for the playoffs this year coming up that sounds really exciting, with home ice advantage being given to the team that's higher in the standings. You want to just talk a little bit about that new format and what inspired the change? Well,
every year we want to grow. And what we came to realize is that playoffs are exciting for our fans. And with our fan base growing over 110% this year, and just recently on Sportsnet we had over 100,000 viewers, and our streaming has increased over 200% this year. So we wanted to give that opportunity in hometowns back to the team that placed in first and second. So this year we have a new format. The first and second place teams will each have a 3-game series within their home. It gives the fans the opportunity to come out and cheer them on. It also gives the opportunity for the players to play in front of their hometown fans who have supported them all year long. So this is another step in our strategic plan, and it's coming off very successful.
Also announced this week, Ottawa, home of the Clarkson Cup for the next 2 years. That's really exciting.
Yeah, the 4th NHL team has come on board, the Ottawa Senators, and this gives the opportunity for our women to play in an NHL rink for the Clarkson Cup. Very prestigious cup that Adrian Clarkson donated to us. It's the only cup actually that's made from scratch, designed completely by an artist, and quite unique. It didn't come off the shelf. And so it's very nice to see our women hoist that up every year, and now they get to do it in Ottawa for the next 2 years, and we've got some wonderful things planned. It's dead in between Toronto and Montreal, so fans will have the opportunity to come from all over. Very exciting for us.
Thanks so much for your time, Brenda.
Oh, you're more than welcome.
100% énergie. 100% passion. 100% effort. Pourtant, les femmes n'ont que 5% de visibilité. Les producteurs laitiers canadiens croient que les athlètes féminines devraient être vues et entendues haut et fort. Avec Nourrir la passion du sport féminin, nous célébrons les athlètes féminines de tous les niveaux. Joignez-nous à Vive le sport féminin.
was 7, I wore these gloves. They held this stick. Well, these skates carried me over the blue line. We won the championship, and now it's all yours. Cool. Oh, and this mouth guard. I'll get my own. Thanks.
The 5th season is when spirit for the game gets passed down. That's why we're proud to support over 5,000 teams.
Said to us off air, Robin, how can you not get excited about a game like tonight's? And I have to agree with Brenda on that. This has been just an amazing hockey game. 1-0 the score after 40 minutes of play, but that's not indicative of the play. There have been scoring chances at both ends of the rink. These women have brought their A game tonight, as they do most nights, and this is why they are the 2 best teams in the CWHL.
Yeah, it's almost at a bit of a stalemate right now. Goaltending duel between Delaney Bryan, who had a fabulous glove save late in the second period, which just knocked CWHL Commissioner Brenda Andrus right off her socks, and she commented on the fact that after the Canadiennes scored their power play goal, that the pace of the game went up, if that was even possible. So you see, look at the scoreline, 1-0 Canadiennes over Calgary, but the pace of this hockey game is insane. The goaltending duel is crazy. As we go into the third period now with Caroline Ouellette's goal, the lone marker on the board.
Tomorrow afternoon at 1:30, Brampton will be taking on the Toronto Furies. That game you can catch live here on CWHLlive.com. And of course, depending on the result of tonight's game, Brampton could inch closer to a 3-way tie for first place in the CWHL. And Toronto, of course, looking to clinch a playoff berth in the coming weeks, either against Brampton or against Boston next weekend. We are back underway here in the third period. Reminder that you can still get in on our Pink the Rink auction in support of the Cedars Breast Cancer Center at the McGill University Health Center by going to the Canadiennes Facebook page. All the details at Canadienne.com and LesCanadiennes.com or at CWHL.ca. Noémie Marin on the right wing side. She's got Ouellette behind her, but Marin takes it to the goal, scores! Noémie Marin goes end-to-end, 2-0 Canadienne.
That was definitely not a scoring play that you would have expected to result in a goal. The way she came in almost casually, noticed her opportunity, and just flung it in. I don't think Delaney Bryan was ready for that one. Only 34 seconds into the third period. It's 2-0 Canadienne.
Marin, that's her second goal of the campaign. As Robin said, 34 seconds, the time of the goal. And the Canadiens have a 2-0 lead here on Calgary in the last 3 periods. 5 periods of play. They have now outscored Calgary 7-0, dating back to November 15th at Winsport. And there are 3 more games to go between these two teams, including tomorrow afternoon here at the DiMato Arena. And of course, in a couple weeks' time, they'll be out in Calgary. Saunier on the far side has the puck stolen from her by Marie-Philippe Poulin. And now it is Chartrand over the near side for Deschênes. Here he steps up and plays it back down into the right wing corner. Here is Hill. On the far side for Bette, she goes cross ice for Deschênes. The pass hit a stick, so that prevented the Canadiens from having an effective breakout. And now a cross ice pass to Bette goes off of a stick and into the penalty bench area.
It was really fun getting a chance to chat with CWHL Commissioner Brenda Andrus between the periods just there. She's so great for the sport, and she's so great for the CWHL. What a phenomenal commissioner. She was in Toronto for the All-Star game last week, and we got to chat a little bit then, and she stuck around and talked just about how much she loves creating positions for women, not just on the ice, but we saw the 5 female general managers dropping the ceremonial puck at the ACC last weekend, and you know, she said that brought a tear to her eye.
And a couple of weeks ago, we had the first female play-by-play crew of a CWHL game, and that, of course, was here in Montreal. Robin, haven't had a chance to thank you for your outstanding work on January 2nd, especially the fact that you came right back from Boston, where you were working the Winter Classic as Lovell scores on a broken play in front of the net, a backhander that just got beyond the left pad of Charlene Labonte.
And Charlene was not happy about the way that turned out. You saw her take her stick and whack the puck out of the out of the net, and that went all the way down the ice into where Delaney Bryan just picked it up in her glove as she was beaten and cuts the Canadiens lead in half.
That's what you call a response.
Tell me about it.
A minute and 21 seconds after the Canadiens make it 2-0. Level will cut the lead to 1. And for Level,
that's her 14th goal of the season.
14th, that's what I was trying to confirm, but I apparently am having difficulty reading my game notes. So it's 2-1. Calgary has come right back to get back into the hockey game after Marin scored 34 seconds into this third period. Here is Willette on the near side to Chu. Far side to Rougeau, winding, shooting, tipped wide as it went to the goal, and it scores! It came off of the end boards, went off of the stick of Bryan, and tipped into the cage. And the Canadiens take a 3-1 lead.
I think that Delaney Bryan thought she had control of that puck. She was completely frozen up and she didn't want to move for fear of letting that puck squeeze out, which is exactly what it did.
We all thought that she had the puck underneath her, but the puck just run free in the blue crease and was tipped into the cage. And now we're getting a track meet. 2 minutes and 31 seconds is the time of the goal. And it is Caro that gets the goal in the slot, her second of the game. And after going 40 minutes with just one goal, we've had 3 in the span of 2 minutes and 31 seconds of this third period. 3-1, the Canadiens lead.
And that was Caroline Willette's 10th goal of the season as she climbs up into double digits.
Here's Poulet, right side, back into the goal! Scores! Poulet! That was a beautiful little give and go between Poulet and Bette, who tipped it back across the crease, and it's 4-1 for the Canadiens.
Wow, I've got goosebumps from that play, John. The way that Poulet skated that in and fed it over to Bette, and she stayed in position. Delaney Bryan moving over to the left side, ready to face that Bette shot. Instead, she sends it back over to Poulet, who has the wide open right side, and she scores.
And Calgary wants to slow this down. They're calling for time. Set at 2 minutes and 56 seconds of this third period. Bette and Poulin connect on Poulin's 14th goal of the season. Just a great passing play there. And it's 4-1 for Les Canadiens. And as I just mentioned a few moments prior, there were 3 goals in the first 2:31 of this period. Make it 4 in 2:56.
And you can't fault Delaney Bryan for that one. When you've got Bette and Poulet coming in all alone on you, it's really hard to play that play and know which person you want to be in position against.
So let's catch up on the scoring summary in this third period. Noémie Marin from Caroline Willette and Katia Clément-Aydra at 34 seconds. Alana Lovell from Brittany Esposito and Louise Warren at 1:55. And then Willette from Rougeau and Noémie Marin at 2:31. And now it is Bette setting up Poulin for her 14th of the season at 2:56. It's 4-1 the Canadiens here in this third period. It's La Chance. Sarah La Chance on the far side. Loses the puck. Esposito, the shot comes in from the left point off of the stick of Cudmore and goes wide of the mark. Here is Hill in her own zone. Over to Chapman. Chapman up the middle, just over the reach of Bucky, and that will be an icing call against the Canadiens.
Well, we can definitively say now that Marie-Philip Poulin's wrist is no worse for wear after she took a puck off her wrist unprotected in the second period. It looked like she was hurt for a while, missed a couple of shifts, came back out and played a few more shifts in the second period, but then she, of course, goes and scores a beautiful goal, one of the nicest of the season that we've seen from her, and there's been a lot of them to choose from.
So Willette has been in on 3 of the 4 Canadiens goal here tonight as a penalty coming up to Montreal. It will be a hooking call, so Calgary goes to the power play. They are 0-for-3 thus far on the hockey game. The Canadiens are 1-for-1 on their only opportunity of the night back in the second period to open up the scoring.
Calgary really needs to score on this power play if they want to stay in the hockey game. They've fallen down now 4-1. Scoring is something that they're generally really good at. They have the most goals for in the CWHL, with their 83rd being scored this evening.
So it is shot in the box for the next 2 minutes or less. Mickelson goes back in her own zone. Caroline Ouellette giving chase, and Mickelson will beat her to the puck as Caro forces her back below the goal. Mickelson, out of the watchful eye of Marie-Philippe Poulin, will start the rush up for Calgary on the left wing side. Jill Saunier into the offensive zone, will lob the puck in behind the net. And Jenner gives chase. Campbell there as well. And coming up with it is Warren to Saunier. Back to Mickelson. To Saunier, back to Mickelson again. Top of the arc. She'll skate the line over to the near side. Saunier, far side, kiss pass back to Mickelson. Megan Mickelson, no lane to shoot. Now she wrists it through traffic, and Levante stands tall, holding on to the puck.
I like the way Mickelson sort of lobbed that one up, trying to go a little bit higher on Levante, but she was ready, and that hit her right in the logo.
But there was no other chance for her to get that through. There were too many players crossing in front of the net. So
it's one way to get it through the slot.
Get it through the traffic and create scoring chances, because Calgary needs to get one relatively quickly. Here's Campbell to Jenner. Jenner, the shot's not. Oh boy, that one almost found the 5-hole as Levante snuck out her left pad and it caught her in the toe. In her own zone, here is Megan Mickelson starting the rush up for Calgary. 46 seconds to go in the power play for the Inferno. On the right side for Wickenheiser. She gains the line into the corner. She goes centering pass, and Levante got her stick out on the puck on the centering pass in the blue paint. And she was able to stop it and hold on for the whistle. 40 seconds to go in the power play.
Haley Wickenheiser just had that chance on Charlene Levante, and she's in a bit of a scoring drought right now. She's no points in her last 3 games, but she does have 12 on the season through 17. So Haley got out to a bit of a hot start, and now we're seeing that sort of taper off. It'd be nice, I'm sure, for her to get on the board again.
30 seconds to go in the power play. Imar with it for the Canadiennes on the far boards. She'll get it to Blais, who will lift the puck high and down the ice. So things have settled down after 4 goals in the first 2:56 of this third period. Is on the far side. Here's Lovell. Lovell, who has the lone goal for the Inferno, sends it in on goal, and Levante will kick the puck over the glass and out of play. 13 seconds left in the Cathy Chartrand penalty.
Saw Jordana Peroff sort of fall into the boards awkwardly just there behind Delaney Bryan, but she got up and skated off, so she looks just fine.
And our next broadcast is tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 when the Brampton Thunder host the Toronto Furies from Brampton. It's a 1:30 puck drop here on CWHL Live. And next Saturday night, Toronto travels to Boston to take on the Blades in a big potential clinching weekend for Toronto at Boston. And then next Sunday afternoon, we will have Brampton at Montreal from the Complexe Sportif Bell in Brossard, Quebec, so on the south shore. Just so I have to cross more bridges from the north side of the city.
Well, it's a good way to get yourself ready before the Super Bowl. Go watch some women's hockey in Brossard.
Exactly. Or if you can't make it, tune us in here on CWHL.com. CWHLlive.com, excuse me. Sarah Davis skating the puck through the middle of the rink. Powers it in on goal. Levante tips it to the far corner. Here's Turnbull now with it. Knocked down by Ouellette in the far corner. Clément Edra with the puck. She's fighting for the disc with Davis on the far side. Ouellette will come up with it, and she'll play it back to Julie Chu, who will bank it off the end boards to Rougeau on the near side. She's forced back by Turnbull as Cunningham gives chase. Now Ouellette starts the rush up on the right wing side. Her backhand pass into neutral ice is broken up there, and back comes Jenner. Nice pass to Saunier up the middle, but she could not get around Imar as Ouellette curls between the rings in front of her own net. Gives it to Marin on the right wing side at center. Marin will lob it, cross ice dump into the left wing corner. She goes for a line change. Clément Edra, the lone red jersey up there, is now Kim Deschênes comes in with a fresh set of legs. Peary to the far side. Campbell hits Betty in the skates. Here's Betty in the slot. And so Betty tries to go down low for Deschênes, but she was skating right to left, and the puck went left to right. And now Calgary will play the puck into their own bench.
Wonderful timing as Marie Philippe just got onto the ice to join her line mates, Kim Deschênes and Ann-Sophie Bété, and I think that line is really working. We don't usually see Kim Deschênes on that line, but I think she brings some offense, and she definitely can skate toe-to-toe with those two.
Poulin will take the face-off out there for the Canadiens against Level, and Calgary controls. Here is Cudmore coming straight up the middle in her own zone, tries to go right side, but for Level, but it's picked off there by Poulin, who's back the other way. Poulin to Deschênes, centering pass is broken up there. And puck pinballs towards the goal, and Bété tips it just wide. Cudmore goes back behind the net. Bété was there to check Laquette, and now coming to the near boards, that is Poulin. And Deschênes, Esposito punches it free, and away on the left wing side. A long stretch pass for Warren is too far out of her reach, but she catches up to the puck. Centering pass, scores! Labonte is knocked down in the crease, but the puck is tipped into the cage. The referee signals goal, and I think there might be a conference here between the officials to determine whether or not there was interference or not, but the call on the ice is a goal, and if it stands, Calgary's cut the lead to 2.
Well, it definitely looked to me like Charlene Labonte was interfered with. Her head snapped back, and she had no way of playing that puck. It just remains to be seen if that was her own fault or her teammates' fault, or if that was interference from a member of the Calgary Inferno. But either way, she couldn't see and couldn't do anything on that goal.
The puck was tipped prior to contact being made. So that might be why the referee, who was standing just below the goal line, indicated goal. Caroline Ouellette and Ann-Sophie Bété standing just outside of the semicircle in front of the scorer's bench, as is Calgary's Brianne Jenner. All 4 officials now in on the conversation.
You saw Charlene Labonte was not happy after that one crossed the line right away, skating around to the refs who were skating away from her. She doesn't think that's a goal, but I don't think she's necessarily the most unbiased in this situation.
She didn't quite go all Curtis Joseph on us.
No, not quite.
No goal. Contact was made, and therefore the goal is disallowed. And they're indicating the face-off in Calgary territory, so I wonder if they're going to also assign a penalty to the play. And there is. Coming back out of the penalty bench, out of the players' bench and into the penalty box is Brittany Esposito, who is going to be called for goaltender interference.
That's only her second penalty of the season. Normally she's a very disciplined hockey player, so she's not used to finding herself in the penalty box.
She pleads her case to the officials to no avail. And so the Canadiens go to their second power play of the hockey game. They're 1 for 1, leading 4-1 in the game. Shots on goal in this third period, favoring Calgary 4-3. So the Canadiens have scored 3 goals on 3 shots here in this third period.
That's not going to help Delaney Bryan's save percentage in this hockey game. As we were seeing, she was pretty much stopping everything coming her way through the first 40 minutes of the hockey game, giving up 3-on-3. Ouch.
So Ouellette and Jenner still discussing matters with the officials, as is Calgary head coach Scott Reed, voicing his displeasure calmly and respectfully with the officials, as one would expect of any of the esteemed coaches here in the CWHL. You don't see any stick throwing or hissy fits, which is...
You are seeing some gesticulation. He doesn't seem very pleased with the way that call went.
And now the officials will speak with Danny Brunet, the head coach of the Canadiens, and the face-off will be in the offensive zone for les Canadiens as they go to the power play for the second time tonight. As we mentioned, 1 for 1 on the power play. Ouellette, Bété, and Poulin up front, Chu and Rougeau on the blue line. Setting up the penalty kill for Calgary. It is Sarah Davis and Takuchi with Turnbull and Mickelson on the PK. So that sets up this power play for the Canadiens. Poulin with it. On the far boards, back to Rougeau. Rougeau left point for Julie Chu. Chu, who scored on the power play earlier this season against Calgary, has the puck at the half wall. Cross ice pass just out of the reach of Poulin, but she skates hard to keep it in. Gives it to Bété, back to Poulin. Poulin top of the arc for Rougeau. Faking the shot, the Chu slap shot goes off of the skate. Caroline Ouellette in front of the goal. Here is Chu at the left wing half boards now, being bothered there by Davis. Takuchi battling with Willette. Puck is sent up the near boards towards the blue line, but Julie Chu catches up to it, leaves it for Rougeau. At the left point, she'll take it to the half boards to Willette, back to Rougeau. Goes cross ice for Julie Chu, right side, down low for Poulin. Poulin on the right wing faceoff circle, back up to the top of the slot for Rougeau. Rougeau looking, right side, gives it to Poulin. Takes the shot, and it gets through as it goes off a stick in front and out the back door. Rougeau back to Poulin. Poulin taking the shot, gives it to Chu. Back to Rougeau. Her shot is blocked by Davis in the slot. And Chu plays it back to the blue line for Rougeau. She keeps it onside. She'll walk the blue line. Gives it to Willette. Willette left point. 50 seconds to go in this power play. This number 1 unit has been out there for the entire shift so far. As now Poulin will go for a line change. Chu down low for Bette. As her stick lifted by Mickelson. Mickelson takes it to the near boards. It'll be clear to the line and out to center ice. As Willette will backpedal towards her own blue line. Rougeau now will go for a line change. As Chu also heads off to the bench, and now Willette does as well. The number 2 power play out there for the remaining 30 seconds of this power play for Les Canadiens, as Erica Crome will clear the puck down the ice for the Inferno. 10:55 to go in the third period. Montréal 4, Calgary 1, in a showdown that would see if this score stands. Montreal will move into a first place tie with Calgary, but will have it on better winning percentage heading into tomorrow's final game of this 2-game weekend set. Here's Amar, top of the umbrella. Shot, her slap shot is knocked aside by Delaney Bryant. Behind the net, on the near side is Peary, as Calgary is back to full strength. 10:25 to go in the third period. 4-1, Les Canadiens, as the puck is cleared out to center by the Inferno. Amar to Deschênes, left wing side, into the offensive zone she goes. Deschênes goes wide on Peary, who separates her from the puck, as the puck pinballs over to the near boards, and will be gathered in by Saunier. Saunier at center on the right wing side, goes around, and takes it to the front of the goal before she is finally upended by Leslie Oles. A great end-to-end rush there by Saunier of Calgary. But she couldn't get a shot away, unfortunately, for the Inferno. Here is Saunier, drop pass just inside the blue line, turnover, here's Bocchia back the other way for the Canadiens. She will overskate the puck, Blay blows a tire at the blue line, and puts herself offside.
Again, when you see Bocchia pair off Blay, whenever they're on the ice, it seems the puck manages to find its way into the Calgary zone. Something that's happened quite a lot this season, and particularly this evening.
Calgary's next home games, for those of you back in the Stampede City, are on February 13th and 14th, when these same Canadiens come to town for the final 2 games between these 2 squads. On Saturday the 13th, it's a 6:15 Calgary time start, 8:15 Eastern, and then a 10 a.m. start on February the 14th. A good save there by Levante off of a shot in tight by Blair Turnbull. Turnbull in, takes a shot again. It goes off of Carly Hill. Behind the net, far side is Go now, setting the puck up for Perov. She slams and breaks midway between the red line and the Calgary blue line. Now plays it back into her own zone for Rougeau. To Julie Chu on the right wing side. Up the boards for Willette. Nice pass over to Martin on the left wing side. Clément Hydra going towards the goal. Here's Willette with it now in the left corner. Willette slams the brakes on, brings it back to the blue line for Rougeau. Rougeau dishes left side for Willette. Willette looking for a wrist shot, takes it, and it is tipped in front by Marin, but it goes out the near side. Here's Mickelson behind the net with Marin. Marin hauled down by Mickelson. No call on the play. The fans not happy with that non-call, as Esposito will skate it up to center, tries to clear it. It goes off of the linesperson's skate, and that allows the Canadiens' Julie Chu to play it in deep to complete a line change. 8:25 to go in the third period, and it is 4-1 in favor of the Canadiens. Shots 4-4 in this period so far.
Definitely like what I'm seeing from the Canadiens. I had noticed early on in the game that a lot of their shots were coming from the perimeter and that they weren't really driving to the net, and that's something that changed in the second period and that they've carried over into the third, as we're just past the halfway mark of the third period, and the Canadiens really heading towards that net and making life difficult for Delaney Bryant.
Saunders plays the puck into the offensive zone. Here's Marie-Philippe Poulin down low for Kim Deschênes, centering pass broken up by Peary, and springing free on the left wing side is Jill Saunier. Saunier in, goes wide, Saunier towards the goal, and she is separated from the puck at the last moment as it rolls in on Levante, and she will hold on for the whistle.
Jill Saunier came into this game riding a team-high 10-game winning point streak, coming into tonight's contest against the Canadiens.
Her Reminder, the Canadiennes' next game is tomorrow afternoon against the Calgary Inferno. That's a 1:30 puck drop here at the Centre Étienne de Marteau. Next weekend, Brampton comes to town for a 5:30 Saturday puck drop in Boisbriand, the hometown of Ann-Sophie. And then on Sunday, we're on the South Shore for a broadcast at 1:30 against Brampton from the Complexe Sportif Belle in Brossard, Quebec. So feel free to tune in to the broadcast, and if you can't make it down there, but we'd love to see you either in Boisbriand or in Brossard next weekend.
And come say hi. We don't bite.
Unless you ask us to. Sorry. Inappropriate. Puck cleared out to center by Deschênes. She will lift it in on goal. It bounds in on Delaney Bryant. She will leave it there for Laquette, as Laquette will roll out the left side. Pass ahead for Sarah Davis in her skates. Laquette has it again. To Cudmore, gives it back to Laquette up the left wing side for Wickenheiser. Haley Wickenheiser into the offensive zone, leaves it there. Here's Turnbull towards a goal! And just in too tight with Sarah Davis. She couldn't get her stick on the puck as it came in just behind her. Carly Hill in the far corner, ahead to Sarah Lachance. Picked off there by Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser winding, shooting, goes off of Sherrard, who is down low to block it. Not sure that I want to get in front of that shot either, as Haley has still one of the hardest shots around. Wick on the far side, back to the blue line it goes. Taguchi plays it to Turnbull, who plays it in behind the net. Babakia has it now on the near side for the Canadiens. Head to Lachance, far side. Esposito steps up, picks that off. Here's a chance for Warren, who took it towards the goal. Now settles it down to the far corner, plays it back to Fury. At the point, wrist shot through traffic. Puck lays loose in front of the net. Labonte was down, but Lake Canadien will clear it out to center. Oles just lifts it into Calgary territory. Emmanuel Blake catches up to it. Blay, centering pass for Oles, but the pass was in her skates as Chrome goes to the wall with Oles on the near side, and the puck comes out to center ice beyond Bougeot, excuse me. Here's Lovell in. Nice press, in front, scores! Oh, what a highlight reel goal by Warren!
Wow. And she collides into the boards after she beats Labonte to cut the lead in half, and you have to think that after you score a goal that's big like that, it doesn't hurt so much when you're slamming into the boards and hurting yourself. 4-2 now. Calgary Inferno with just under 6 minutes left to play, encroaching in Canadiennes territory.
14:03 the time of the goal. Lovell will pick up their second point of the hockey game.
And that's Warren's 5th goal of the season.
So Lovell, who scored her 14th earlier, sets up the second Calgary goal, cutting the Canadian lead in half to 4-2 with, as Robin said, just shy of 6 minutes to go here in the third period. Don't go away anywhere, folks. Don't go away, folks, because we saw 4 goals scored in the first 2:56 of this period. These two teams can certainly light the lamp when they want to. Here is Warren. Louise Warren will roll the puck into the offensive zone. The latest goal scorer for Calgary. Bougeot to Julie Chu, and Chu will bring it behind her own net over to the near side for Carol Ouellette. Ouellette ahead for Clément Aydra at center. Katia Clément Aydra into the offensive zone to the half boards around Laquette. She's still battling for it. Laquette comes up with it, skates it out the far side towards the blue line, and will now make an outlet pass on the left wing side for Jessica Campbell. Into the slot for Jenner. Jenner had her stick chopped at by Bro as the puck rolls in on goal on a nice stop by Labonte. Calgary seems to have a little bit of life here in this hockey game.
Yeah, I think taking that little bit of a break earlier definitely calmed them down. And, you know, this is a team that can get back into a hockey game. This is a team that's capable of scoring goals. Despite the fact that they're down by 2 with 5 minutes left to play, they've got a lot of capable offense that can get them back into this game.
Pete ahead for Deschênes, but the bank pass off of the boards was behind her, so the Canadiens have to tag up, and that allows Calgary to bring it out to center. Mickelson on the right wing side lifts it in on goal, and Labonte opts to freeze it and get a stoppage of play with 4:46 to go in the third period. So Warren from Lovell and Esposito at 14:03.
Big goal for Warren and a big game for her as she assisted on that other goal that Calgary scored in this hockey game, scored by Lovell.
So a pair of Calgary players with 2 points as Wickenheiser is thrown out of the draw. Sarah Davis comes in to take it against Poulain. And Calgary will control off of the face-off. Turnbull gets it to the blue line, but can't connect with Mickelson, so the puck comes out to center. Laquette checked there by Bette. Davis lifts it to the Montreal blue line, and it will be tipped into the offensive zone for Calgary, but on the counterattack now, here's Poulain into the offensive zone for the Canadiens. Backhand pass, kick saved by Bryan. And Wickenheiser has it. Haley Wickenheiser cuts to the left side. Dishes off. Davis's shot. Blockered aside by Labonte over to the near side. And the puck is in neutral ice now as Bette will sweep it in deep. 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go in regulation time. Calgary down by a pair. Kim Deschênes spins Jackie Peary around in the offensive zone as Laquette has it, and she will play it ahead for Wickenheiser, who falls at center. Julie Chu with it for the Canadiens, spins away from Davis. 3:49 to go in the third. Still a 4-2 lead, but this game is not over yet by any length of the imagination. Chrome over to the far side for Warren, who just scored a few moments ago. Gives it to Lovell. Lovell, who has a pair of points in the game, plays it over to the vacant wing on the near side. Chu on the counterattack to Oles. Oles into the slot to Blay. Blay has her stick lifted before she can get a shot away, and Peary has it on the far side, but Oles comes over, checks her, and Blay has it in the corner for the Canadiens. She's got Rougeau free at the point, but goes cross ice to Julie Chu at the left blue line. Chu to Ouellette. Sidesteps a check just inside the line, takes it to the half boards now, but has her pocket picked, and back the other way is Calgary. Warren will play it to the vacant left wing side, and coming up and chipping it in deep is Elena Lovell with 3 minutes to go in the third period. A 4-2 Canadien lead here in a showdown for top spot in the CWHL. Taguchi back in her own zone, plays it off the boards on the far side, and here is Saunier. Saunier with a 3-on-1. Saunier, left wing side, passes the crush, shot stopped by Labonte. Great chance there for Brianne Jenner as Labonte goes down to the butterfly to make the stop. Ouellette brings it back out to center on the counterattack for the Canadiens. Drops it for Katia Clément-Edra. Her shot is blocked into the corner by the netminder Delaney Bryan. Behind the net, Marin for the Canadiens. Can't come up with it, but it pops free to Katia Clément-Edra. Back to Aymar. Her shot through traffic. Big rebound, and Jenner will corral it for the Inferno. 2:15 to go in the third period. Pass up the right wing side. Here's Saunier. Saunier in, takes the wrist shot, and going down to the butterfly is Labonte to make the stop.
I know we're supposed to remain unbiased here, John, but I find myself rooting for Jill Saunier every time she's on the ice because she does have that 10-game scoring point streak going on right now, and you just desperately want to see her keep that one going, make it 11.
She's had her chances in this hockey game as well. Wickenheiser will take the draw against Poulain. To the left of Labonte, and Calgary controls. Laquette with a shot from the point, knocked down. Poulain has it. She falls to the ice. Davis spins and tries to take a shot, but Hale comes up with it, and she will clear it out to center for the Canadiens. Laquette in neutral ice, far side for Davis. Bank pass off of the boards, gets into the left wing corner. Labonte out to play it away from the attacker for Calgary as the extra player is now on the ice as Louise Warren comes over. It's a 6-on-5 for the Inferno. Here's Wickenheiser to Cudmore, right point. Cudmore, wrist shot, blocked by Chartrand. Puck behind the net now. Here is Davis. As Bette loses her stick, gives it to Cudmore, who comes in from the right point position. Puck back to the blue line for Wickenheiser. Wickenheiser, right point, down low. Davis tipped in front for Turnbull, and the puck will be cleared down the ice, and the icing will go against the Canadiens with 1:22 to go in the third period. Face-off will come back down low indeed on a 6-on-5 situation for Calgary.
But if the 5 players that you're going to have on the ice include Ann-Sophie Bette and Marie-Philip Poulain in the dying moments of the hockey game when you've got an extra attacker and an empty net, those are definitely people that I want out there.
The Canadiens call for a timeout because they need to recharge a little bit after that last shift. So it'll be interesting to see who comes over the boards for Calgary because Wickenheiser did go to the bench at the end of a very long shift. It'll be interesting to see if she comes back out on the ice after this timeout. Let's take a rundown of the scoring summary in tonight's game. No scoring in the first period. In the second period, Caroline Ouellette scores from the power play from Ann-Sophie Bette and Lauriane Rougeau at 14:27 to make it 1-0. And then the third period happened.
Wow.
4 goals in the first 2 minutes and 56 seconds, 3 of them by the home side. Noémie Marin splits the D and goes in on goal to score her second of the season from Ouellette and Clément-Edra at 34 seconds. Elena Lovell from Brittany Esposito and Louise Warren at 1:55. Cuts the lead at 2-1, but then the Canadiens score back-to-back goals. Willette from Lauriane Rougeau and Noémie Marin at 2:31, and then just 15 seconds later, Marie-Philippe Poulin and Ann-Sophie Bate from Ann-Sophie Bate makes it 4-1. Louise Warren from Elena Lovell and Brittany Esposito at 14:03, and that's where we stand with $1:20 to go here in regulation time. Here's Jenner in the offensive zone for Calgary. Overskates it. Poulin backhands it to the blue line. Knocked down by Laquette. Over to Mickelson. Right point. Wrist shot through traffic. Hits Campbell's skate. 1:05 to go in the third period. Saunier turns the puck over. Poulin has her pocket picked by Esposito. And Jenner behind the net now with it. Jenner tries to power it out in front. Under a minute to go in the third period. Chautron takes her to the boards. And the puck comes to the blue line. Here's Campbell. Campbell for Calgary. Wrist it into the corner. Here's Jenner. Jenner can't control. Poulin up with it. She'll play it off of the boards. Past Mickelson at the line. No, it's kept in. But now Poulin on the follow-up. Will get it to center. Gains the red line. Shoots and scores! Marie-Philippe Poulin with her second of the game. 15th of the season. And that will do it.
Only Marie-Philippe Poulin could score from center ice.
With 3 players between her and the goal.
Yeah. I shake my head when I watch her sometimes, John. I find myself sometimes when I'm watching at home when they're on the road and we hear our buddies doing the broadcasts on CWHLlive.com. I just have to laugh watching her play hockey. She does things that I don't think any other human being is capable of.
So Poulin picks up her 15th of the season into the empty net. And the Canadiens will come up with a victory in this hockey game, up 5-2 with 23 seconds to go. Here's Olds on the right wing side. Leslie Olds fires it on goal. Brian will deflect it over to the near side. Perov knocks the puck down just inside the blue line, but a glove pass is called with 11 seconds to go in the third period. So fans, we'd like to thank everyone who was involved with tonight's Pink the Rink, Vainquons le Cancer du Sein promotion for the 6th year, here for the Canadiens. We anticipate that we will raise over $10,000 for this project, and as was mentioned earlier, you can go to cedars.ca to donate specifically to this cause. As time winds down here, Les Canadiens de Montréal win it 5-2 and move into first place in the CWHL with a 15-2 record.
Outstanding performance from the Canadiens this afternoon. It was great to see them really pull together after that first period when they had a whole bunch of shots, but they were coming from the outside. They managed to get in tight in the second and the third. We get a whole bunch by Delaney Bryan, who played her heart out. She had the game of her life this afternoon, but it wasn't enough. 5-2 final. Montreal moving into first place. Calgary gets a chance at redemption. If they beat Montreal tomorrow afternoon, they'll move back into first place. So we'll see a little bit of bobbling there.
And they're both tied with 30 points, but Montreal has played 2 fewer games that they will make up in the coming weeks. In fact, next weekend against Brampton. So Montreal moves to 15-2 on the regular season. Calgary falls to 14-3-2 on the campaign. And this was a great game here tonight. Tomorrow afternoon should be the same. And don't forget, fans out in Calgary, if you're around the 13th and 14th, come on out and see these two teams again at Winsport. Saturday the 13th, the Canadiens will be in town for the next home Calgary game. That's an 8:15 local game. Excuse me, a 6:15 local game, 8:15 Eastern time. And then on the 7th, or excuse me, on the 14th, it's a 10 a.m. game in Calgary, 12 Eastern. As the two teams will hook up for 2 more games after tomorrow's matchup before the end of the regular season. And who knows, they could be in the Clarkson Cup Championship game in Ottawa.
Yeah, if I had to make a prediction, John, I would say that these two will be facing off in the Clarkson Cup. I wouldn't be surprised to see Montreal and Calgary finish 1-2. Which one finishes first remains to be seen.
But don't forget that Brampton, with a win tomorrow, will close the gap on one of these two teams. And Brampton and Montreal play next week. As we take a look at the stars of today's game, Elena Lovell, the 3rd star in the contest, had an outstanding performance for Calgary. 2 goals, or excuse me, a goal and an assist in the hockey game. The 2nd star, Noémie Marin. Marin picked up a goal and and an assist in the game. And I'm going to guess that it's going to be Keckle, the first star.
Oh, looks like I owe you $5, John.
Yeah, I saw that one coming from a while away. Caroline Ouellette, who had 2 goals in the hockey game, including the opening power play marker and the eventual game-winning goal in the third period at 2:31.
And that would make it her team-leading 4th game-winning goal of the season.
So let's recap the final score, the final scoring summary again in tonight's hockey game. The Canadiennes defeat the Calgary Inferno by a score of 5-2 here at the Centre Étienne de Marteau, the first game of a 2-game weekend series. Caroline Ouellette scores on the power play from Ann-Sophie and Lauriane Rougeau at 14:27 of the second period to make it 1-0. And then, as we mentioned, the floodgates open to start the third period with 4 goals between the two squads in a span of 2 minutes and 56 seconds. And it was started by Noémie Marin from Caroline Ouellette and Katia Clément-Hédra at 34 seconds. The Inferno respond a minute and 21 seconds later at 1:51. Elena Lovell, scores from Esposito and Warren. At 2:31, Caroline Ouellette with her second of the hockey game, third point of the game, from Lauriane Rougeau and Noémie Marin. And then the back-breaking goal was really 14 seconds later. Make that 25 seconds later? Help me, Robin.
Yeah. Your math can good?
Yeah, exactly. 25 seconds later, Marie-Philippe Poulin from Ann-Sophie makes it 4-1. Louise Warren from Elena Lovell and Brittany Esposito at 14:03 cuts the lead again in half, but Marie-Philippe Poulin, empty net from center ice at 19:25, rounds out the scoring in the hockey game as the Canadiens improve to 15-2 on the season. The shots on goal in the hockey game favor the Canadiens 28 to the Inferno's 23. The power plays were the difference in the hockey game, though, as the Canadiens go 1 for 2 with the advantage, whereas Calgary went 0 for 4 on the game.
And that's something that they'll definitely want to work on tomorrow. The Canadiens lately have not been very disciplined. They've been taking a lot of penalties and giving their opponents time and chances to get into the hockey game. Luckily for them, their penalty kill is so outstanding, the best in the league, and it's really hard to get one by the Canadiens when they're shorthanded.
So tomorrow afternoon, it's the final game of this 2-game weekend series between the two teams at 1:30 Eastern Time. If you're in the area, come on out and support these two wonderful hockey teams. Our next broadcast on CWHL Live comes your way tomorrow afternoon at 1:30 in the afternoon as the Brampton Thunder host the Toronto Furies. And next Saturday night, Toronto will be in Boston to take on the Blades. And our next broadcast from Montreal comes your way a week from tomorrow when the Canadiens host the Brampton Thunder, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time from Complexe Sportif Bell in Brossard, Quebec. That's on the South Shore, just south of Montreal, if you want to come in for the game from out of town. Robin, your final thoughts on the contest?
My final thoughts are that these two are definitely the cream of the crop. We talk about Brampton being really competitive and closing the gap, but watching these two teams play each other, it makes it more clear than ever that they are the two best teams in the CWHL. And while parity is becoming more of a thing in this league, and we're seeing teams like even Toronto, don't count them out whatsoever, even though it looks like they'll probably finish in 4th and just squeeze into a playoff spot. Anything can happen in the playoffs, but watching these two teams face off against each other, it's a treat to see 17 All-Stars all on the ice, 9 for the Canadiens, 8 for the Calgary Inferno. It was an exciting affair, and I'm really glad that we're all going to be back here tomorrow to watch it happen again.
Well, Robin Flynn, thank you very much for your help this evening. A shout out to our ISI Live crew, led by Bengt Nethery here in Montreal. And of course, our hockey crew over in Austria. René, thank you very much for all of your help this evening with the graphics and whatnot. And we'll be back again next Sunday here from Montreal. So once again, the final score tonight, the Canadiens of Montreal move into a first-place tie with the Calgary Inferno after a 5-2 victory over the team from the Stampede City. On behalf of our entire CWHL Live crew here in Montreal, this is John Bauer bidding you so long from the Centre Étienne de Marteau in Montreal. CWHL Live is brought to you in part by Scotiabank, by the Dairy Farmers of Canada, fueling women's champions, by Winsport Canada, Sportsnet, Bauer, Tim Hortons, Toyota, by the Globe and Mail, Molson Coors, Bridgeforce, Porter Airlines, Gong Show, Oh My G, the Calgary Flames, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens.